meeting of the Town of Southampton Zoning Board of Appeals. This meeting is being held live and also via video conferencing on the Town Clerk's page on the Town of Southampton website. For those of you online who wish to view tonight's live meeting only and not participate, please do not join the Zoom meeting. If you are having difficulties accessing the hearing in either case, visit the Town Clerk's meeting portal and click on the instructions link. With that, I'd like you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you're here with us tonight in person, please silence your cell phones and refrain from speaking to one another as it interferes with our recordings. In case of an emergency evacuation, please exit through the rear doors of this room to one of the staircases across the hall and continue downstairs and out through the main entrance. Do not use the elevators. In case of a medical emergency, the automated external defibrillator and first aid kit are both located in the hallway on this floor opposite the elevator, and restrooms are located across the hall from this room. Tonight, board members Julie Kane and John Rebhen are absent. A reminder that applicants, agents, members of the public speaking other than attorneys will be sworn in, will state their address for the record, and will offer their testimony as it relates to the application before the board. In order to consider properly every application before us tonight, individuals commenting on a particular application have a time limit of 3 minutes. I want to emphasize we welcome comments, but it must adhere to the time limit in order to accommodate all interested in speaking on any application before us tonight. Written comments on any application are also welcome. Please address those comments to members of the board and send via email, mail, and/or drop off at Town Hall to the board secretary, Candace Cowell, in the building department. At this time, I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of our August 6, 2026 meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
She says aye.
Macedonia.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, John, would you take us through the agenda, please?
Yes, number 6 on the agenda, RJS Real Properties LLC, 93 East Montauk Highway, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-263-1-32.4. I move to adjourn the continued hearing on this application to January 21st, 2027.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. McDonald.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald. Ms.
Aye,
Burgess.
yes.
She
Thank you.
says aye, and chair votes aye. Okay.
Okay, going to the decision calendar. Decision in the application of 15 Partridge LLC, 15 Partridge Drive, Noyak, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-24-2-64. I move to reopen the hearing on this application.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye.
I move to close the hearing on this application for a decision later tonight.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr.
Aye.
McDonald. Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye.
Decision in the application of 19 Bay Drive LLC, 19 Bay Drive, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-269-1-46. I move to adjourn the decision on this application until September 3rd.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye.
Decision in the application of Carter and Sloan Simpson, 28 Robbins Lane, North Sea, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-62-1-11. I move to adjourn the decision on this application to September 3rd.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald. Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye.
The decision in the application of Alex Demerin Demir Revocable Trust, 6423, 31 Rampasture Road, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-293-3-12. I move to adjourn the decision on this application to September 3rd.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye.
Finally, the decision in the application of David Dunaway, 149 Big Fresh Pond, North Sea, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-94-3-26.2. I move to adjourn the decision on this application to September 3rd.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye.
Number 1 on the agenda, the application of Patricia Citron, 154 Springville Road, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-293-4-25. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for proposed addition to an existing dwelling on a non-conforming lot. 1. Section 330-6 General Regulations that references Section 330-11 Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for principal total side yards from 45 feet to 24.5 feet and a principal minimum side yard setback from 20 feet to 10 feet. And 2, Section 330-84D pyramid height for a west sky plane encroachment of 94 cubic feet and any other relief necessary.
Do we have jurisdiction?
The board has jurisdiction.
Okay. Hi, attorneys? Okay, so then let me swear you all in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Individually state your names and addresses, please.
Patricia Citrone, 154 Springville Road, Hampton Bays, New York.
Okay.
Jacqueline Ormond, 25 Vera Place, Patchogue, New York, 11772.
Okay.
Joseph Citrone, 154 Springville Road, Hampton Bays, New York, 11946.
So Jacqueline, are you taking the lead on presenting
I
this?
am, yes. So I'm acting as the agent for Mr. and Mrs. Citrone at their property. I have a couple of plans just to hand out first. Helen, this is one is for
And you've
you.
already given to,
Yes, Candace has already taken what she needs, and then these are just to hand down the board. We just had a very small revision to the date on it. Other than that, it's exactly the same as what you
You're
have
gonna
in your
walk us
packet.
through what that is.
It was
just
just
a
a
date.
revision
Oh,
date,
oh.
that's all, yeah. Other than that, it's exactly the same as what you have in your packet.
okay.
Beautiful.
So first of all, just good evening to the board. As I said, I'm representing Joe and Tricia here. I just wanted to speak briefly to their connection to the town before I get into what we're asking for. Joe actually grew up in the town. His grandfather bought property here and built a house. They grew up here, moved to Westchester to raise their children. They purchased this property in 2010 as a second home for summers. Joe recently retired in June from the Yonkers Fire Department, so now they're looking to relocate back here as a permanent residence. They've maintained strong roots here. Their son has actually been an ocean lifeguard for the town of Southampton for the last 3 summers. And they still have a lot of family members in the area. So now their children are adults with partners and friends and everything that are looking to visit. They're looking to expand the home. I just wanted to give a little background because I want to make sure that I clarify that they're not looking to expand in order to sell or to monetize it through rentals. They are just looking to expand to accommodate their older family now they've moved back. The house itself is burdened by being on the wetlands inventory, as well as a non-conforming width of 87.5 feet, where 120 feet would normally be required for this R20 zoning. Makes it very difficult to conform with those side yard setback and total side yards. The architect did revise the plans as much as he could to get rid of that pyramid encroachment. So what we have is very, very minimal, just gutter, really, that is the encroachment. We're in the process of getting a Board of Health permit for a new IA low nitrogen septic system to handle any kind of environmental concerns. We're also in at the Town Conservation Department awaiting their decision so that we can follow their decision to minimize any kind of environmental impact with this property. And then additionally, I have packets here with some precedents, as well as a letter from the homeowner who actually owns both the properties on either side. He recently bought 1 Springville Circle. He owns 156 Springville. So he has written us, was kind enough to write us a letter saying that he doesn't object to the proposed application, and he's the one that would be directly affected by owning those 2 adjacent properties. Would you like me to hand these out now or just hand them to your office?
Oh, no, you can hand them out now,
Sure.
and we'll just keep them with our files.
Okay, so it's 5 copies, 6 copies? I'm gonna hand that to you. Okay.
Make sure mark this one.
Mark, you need one.
Appreciate it.
Mark will need one.
And then again, as you're reviewing the first couple of pages, I've just put some photographs in of what the house looks like now, as well as the existing screening vegetation that's already at the property between 1 Springville Circle and 154 Springville Road.
Okay. Okay, so tell us exactly what you're looking for in the way of relief.
Yes, absolutely.
So, take this down and rebuild, or just
No,
addition?
it's an addition. Yes, it is an addition. They're basically keeping most of the framework of the house, but they're pushing the kitchen out to make it a little larger. And on the back of that kitchen, then expanding that second-story deck to accommodate for the expansion of the kitchen. The other area is going sideways. Joe is looking to expand what he already has with the existing garage. If you wanted to talk to him about his classic cars that he tinkers with it in the garage, that's why he's looking for this expansion. He currently has one of those kind of pop-up tents to keep the classic cars in. And like I said, he's just retired, so the garage is not for commercial use. It's not for anything like that. It's purely to give Joe room to store his cars and to tinker with his toys in his spare time. So we are looking for 10 feet where 20 feet is required to the west, 14.5 where 20 is required to the east, and a combined a total of 24.5 where 45 is required. And then our pyramid would be 94 cubic square feet, again, just mainly the guttering on the edge of the roof.
Okay, this is Helen's application. She's suffering from some laryngitis, so Kevin is going to read some of her comments.
I have been volunteered to
Sure, not a problem.
present her comments. So, thank you for the overview and for the revision and the clarity on that. So I will read hers and then I will add my own comments. So it says, please reconsider the 10-foot side yard setback over the concern that the 10 feet on either side might be too narrow, and any access to the backyard for whatever their reasons might be, could be limiting. And, the concern is for adjacent properties is setting a precedent for other property owners asking for 10 feet as well.
So,
And hold on, and you just hear it all, it's easier.
Of course.
And then, perhaps reconsider the size of the garage and making the setback law, more conforming by, shrinking the size of the garage down and then, maybe recentering the lot a little bit. And I don't know how big the garage is. I appreciate your hobby and what you're trying to do. I have a few friends that have the same affliction. It's terrible. But really, it's just a question of, and I appreciate what you're trying to do. You made the case for the larger house, and I don't know how you did it, but it almost fits. And the only issue is it's a question of whether the garage can be trimmed down some and shifted, so.
Okay.
Is that a fair characterization? Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I think when,
The what? Oh, the Conservation Board comments. You got that memo from,
Conservation Board.
I haven't received it yet, if
Okay,
it
but
just
we,
came out.
you know,
but I will-
obviously, we wait on any decision until the Conservation Board
Yeah.
comes through.
Yes.
But I'm sure you'll be receiving that.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'll discuss that with
Right.
conservation as soon as I get
they have
it.
a memo with
Yes.
raising a whole bunch of issues
Yeah, we
about
just got it tonight
other
as
things that
well.
need to be brought into compliance.
Yes, because there is a covenanted wetlands buffer there as
Right.
well, so we
And
know.
there was some other structural issues too, so I can't find it right now,
That's
but
fine, I'm certainly happy to review that as soon as I get
Sure,
a copy,
sure.
no problem. And then I believe when Ms. Burgess was at the house, she'd already discussed this side here with the, I think it's about 3 feet going out. The Citroens have already decided to shrink that part down, so there won't be any further encroachment on this side of the house.
Which side are you
So
talking about?
if you look at the survey here, sorry, Mr. Leonard, can you see from there? This little area here.
on the other side of the garage,
Yeah,
opposite the garage side.
Exactly,
So
yes.
you're gonna
So-
take out
so
that
Exactly, there'll be no further encroachment beyond that right now. So we'll get a revised survey to you, obviously, but that will be taken out. So that side yard
You
will
have a
remain the
permit
same.
for the vinyl shed? Because that looks like it needs a variance.
So that shed will be relocated as
Okay,
part
that
of
needs
the
to be
project.
stipulated on
Yes.
the,
Survey.
Relocation of,
Yes.
yes.
Yep.
Yes, so I'll make sure that we have that.
okay, and did you address the size of the garage on the other side?
So that really comes down to how big a revision do you think would be, because again, I don't know classic cars, so I
So
can't
this
speak
would
to
be,
how
it
many
would be,
you can
on
fit
one
in.
side, it would be 17.5 now, and the combined should be 45, correct?
It should be,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. All right, so, all right. Well, in order to have a garage, you're gonna have to have some relief on that side. The question is it possible to shave that down a little bit? I mean, it's a two-car garage, I mean, do you have excess space in it? I mean,
I mean, I think it was just a decent-sized two-car. There really wasn't anything extra. I mean, we'd have to look at it on how to bring it down a little bit. I think what would get affected is the kitchen. The kitchen's gonna get bumped out, and then it would be the garage.
Is the kitchen, the structure
We would have
behind
to
it
take
with
a
the
little bit
little
away
red?
from the kitchen and a little bit away from the garage, I think is what we'd have to do.
is that something you would consider?
Yes.
Okay, so you would look into that, okay, that's helpful.
Helen is signaling she thinks the garage is too big, which causes the relief that you're asking for to be a little excessive.
Right, and he's saying
no,
that they're
I-
gonna look at that
Right.
and see if they can
that's great.
make some modification, some modification.
And then the other thing that we'd also discussed before that I wanted to add in is my homeowners are also happy with a stipulation that it's not going to be at any point converted to conditioned space. I know sometimes it can be an end run around to.
Of habitable space? you mean?
Yes, so, you know,
Yes, no, of course,
so,
yes,
you know, I
okay.
want to make sure that we're clear as well that this is not an end run to make this a part of the house in a future date. This is purely for a garage.
Okay, thank you.
We really just need it wide enough for it to be a two-car garage,
Yeah,
though.
right, okay, so you'll take a look at that and see. I had some comments, all right, the shed was one. Who owns the vegetation that's on the property line? Is that yours, is it your neighbor? It's yours, okay,
On what would be the garage side, you mean?
yes. Oh, that's yours, and how about on the other side? There seems to be some on the other
Yeah,
side
those
as
big
well.
conifers on the other side to
That's the
156.
neighbor, that's 156.
Okay, all right, but I would think that we would like to also stipulate that you maintain the vegetation on your property, you know, line on the garage side.
Yes.
If that's all right with you. Because that would
We
be
had
something
discussed
would-
that,
okay.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see, what's the total square footage of the house?
Currently or additionally?
Current and addition if you have?
Sure. Sorry, I've hit that age now where I have to kind of move the plan in and out to see.
Welcome to my world.
Okay, so right now we have a proposed first floor of 1,856 square feet, a proposed second floor of 1,064 square feet. He didn't call it out on this, but I can give you a rough idea with the GIS page.
94 cubic feet in pyramid, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. And that should be in the plans you
Yeah.
have. It will be a later page.
And if the garage is reduced, that may reduce some of the pyramid relief as well, possibly?
It could do.
Possibly.
We can
I don't know.
Yeah, we can certainly
We
ask the
certainly would wanna
architect
look
about
at that,
that. Of course,
We
yeah.
want to see you make that effort and
Yeah.
Okay,
show us what you tried.
yes. So if we can maybe try and eliminate that 94 square feet entirely and bring that side setback in a little more and
Yeah,
reduce that
right,
garage.
right.
Okay.
Well, it looks like you probably, they're evenly split
Yeah.
between two of the eaves at 47 each, so you'll probably affect one and not the other, not the second story one.
Okay.
I mean, I would look to, can you bring it in 5 feet?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, see what you can do, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we're looking for 15 feet or 10, but we're
yes.
looking for some kind of an accommodation.
And the
Certainly
94
give some
cubic
relief.
feet, I'm
Absolutely.
sorry.
94 cubic feet's fine with me.
It's,
Oh, yeah, the pyramid relief is
that's not the
That's not the issue at
compelling
all.
issue for today's
Clearly.
discussion.
Of course.
To be
a happy
clear.
or
Yes.
happy consequence.
Exactly. If it happens, it happens.
Reduction.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, is there any more comments from the board?
Very nice.
Yeah, a nice rendition for you. Is
happy
there
with
anyone
the
in the
furniture.
audience who wishes to be heard on 154 Springville Road? Anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard?
Yes.
No one on Zoom? No one on Zoom?
No one?
No one?
So we,
But one more question. Did you submit the letters of support from the neighbor?
Yes,
It's
they're
in the
all-
packet?
Exactly, it's all in,
Okay.
so my covering memo is in there that just describes exactly
Okay.
what's in that packet, and
Okay,
it's the
great.
last item in there.
Okay, great, thank
so
you.
we have to adjourn this because we're waiting for Conservation Board review.
No, I think what we do is we would like written submissions.
Yes.
Do we want to adjourn it and have them come back? Okay, all right. So instead, sometimes we just ask for written submissions and we don't
Okay.
have a decision until the Conservation Board. But in this case, the consensus seems to be we'll adjourn and have you come back.
How much time would you need to review the conversation that you need to have?
If that conservation letter is out, I can get hold of it by tomorrow. I'll take a look at that. We'll talk to the architect tomorrow as well. So we'll move quickly, but I think it's probably still going to be next month.
Yeah.
I'm assuming for an
October 1
architect.
or October 15?
Let's go with October 1. Yes.
Okay, so for
So
now.
we'll make a
Yeah, I'm going to make the
motion.
motion for Helen. So I'm going to, I make a motion to adjourn the application of Patricia Citrone, 154 Springville Road, until October 1.
Second.
Mr. McDonough?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Mastonia?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? And Chair votes aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Number 2 on the agenda, the application of Jane and Michael Kurtz, 7 Wayne Court, West Hampton, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-357-3-59. Applicant requests relief from Town Code Section 330-115D3, continuance, for a principal rear yard setback from 30 feet to 19.6 feet for a proposed garage addition to a one-family dwelling on a non-conforming lot, and any other relief necessary.
That's me again. Just when you thought you got rid of me.
Let me swear you in again, okay?
Absolutely.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address.
Jacqueline Ormond, 25 Vera Place, Patchogue, New York, 11772.
Okay. Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on this?
There is not. No, my homeowner decided to stay at home on this one.
Okay, so you're
just me.
it. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Jacqueline, tell us about this.
Okay, so I'm representing the homeowners Michael and Jane Kurtz. Again, just a little background on them. Mike was a helicopter mechanic at Gabreski Air Force Base for 35 years. And after he retired, went back there as a consultant. So he's been in the area a long, long time. In 2019, they purchased this house at Wayne Court at an auction because it was in considerable disrepair. They've since renovated the interior and the exterior. There's photos. I have a packet for you. The variance is being requested is to add to the existing single-car garage that he has there and provide Mike an area where he's able to have a workbench and an extra parking bay. Anyone that knows mechanics, again, know they don't stop tinkering. So even though he's retired, he would just like some space for a workbench. The request is fairly minimal. It encroaches an additional 11 feet into the rear yard setback, but it's also a single story, no pyramid encroachment. It is and it will remain unconditioned space, so we're not adding to the living area again. It will just be a garage. The property is encumbered by having 2 front yards. It was also considerably undersized at 11,981 square feet, despite being an R20. I actually went to the building department and spoke to Marjorie Riley and Sean McDermott. They found the historical records and realised it had actually been zoned a little incorrectly. So Mr. Gerhauser at the building department wrote the denial and stated that we were entitled to go back to Zone D.
30 feet, right?
Yes, so it enables to ask for forgiveness of 19.6 feet where 30 is required rather than where 60 is required. And then I've also included in the original application packet a single and separate report to support asking for that. And then again, Mike and Jane get along very well with their neighbours. So their neighbour to the side of the house that would be most affected by this proposed addition was kind enough again to write a letter saying that he has no objection to the application.
Okay. So you're going to pass that out?
Yes.
And you've given
These.
something to Candace already?
Yes.
Okay. Does Mark get one of these?
Yes.
Pass the mark.
I've brought enough for everyone, so.
Thank you. All right, I'm missing one here.
Oh,
I'll share.
I gave,
have
No. You've got, you get your own copy. Okay.
She's gonna separate us.
Okay, and also there was a letter in the file that the shed will be relocated to a
Yes,
conforming
exactly, yes.
location.
Yeah, Mr. Kurtz has said he's happy to move the shed, but we just wanted to proceed with the variance for now, and he wasn't interested in adding it to the variance.
Okay, this is yours, Bob.
Yeah, I look, the property, I guess, is on the side where you put in the garage. That looks like there's a structure that's right on the line.
These maps aren't necessarily accurate.
The next door neighbor?
Yeah.
He may have one, but I did pull briefly and look at the neighbors. I think that's a grandfathered in one, or it may be I did check to make sure it was legal.
The garage or shed, or?
I think it's a shed. When I looked, yeah, it's set back on the property off to the side of his house, and it kind of just has barn doors, so I think it's just a shed.
The lot does go on a curve, and it's not even.
Yes,
not
I
even two
believe
front
it
yards.
wraps the whole way around, so he also has 2 front yards, yes.
I honestly have no problem with it.
No, none whatsoever.
Anybody else on the board wishes
Yeah,
to comment?
I just have one question. It's garage night at the ZBA. So my principal question is, you know, I think you clearly have a complex lot with reasonable constraints. So my question is, if this bay is being added to an existing garage,
Yes.
is the wall coming down in between? And if so, does that give you any opportunity to have a little more space giving back to the setback rather than for the structure?
So the architect that worked on this, and the engineer that stamped the plan is actually the son-in-law of the homeowner. So I'd sat with them and explained that we need to get it as tight as possible in order to ask for this. So if you look at the photo I put in of his car in the existing garage, it's incredibly tight.
Is this the
in-
package you just gave us?
Yeah, so one of the photos is his car in that garage. It's incredibly tight as a single bay parking, garage as it is.
Okay.
So I do feel like we're not over asking for this second bay.
I guess my question is, if you take the wall out,
Yeah.
then you don't need walk space on.
Right.
If you leave the wall, you need 3 feet on either side at least.
Yes.
If you don't have the wall,
Yes,
then you have 6 feet,
right.
and then that gives you a little room, gives you more room
Yeah.
for utilization purposes, but it also potentially gives you a little room to bring it in a little.
Right.
And it's, I'm not being exceptionally difficult on purpose, I'm just asking.
As far as I know, no. And like I said, because I knew I'd be the one presenting, I had already sat with them and said, anything you can give me, I want to, I don't want to over ask for what we're looking for, but they did sit down and figure out, how much space they would need, both the cars, the engineering was done by Nick, the person that stamped the plans.
Okay.
So I think it's engineered to be optimal. And again, I think that 11 feet is pretty much giving him what he needs.
11 feet is a modest garage. I'm conceding that.
I have no problem with the request. I think it's modest. I think you've done a good job in trying to keep everything within, what our usual framework is. So I don't have a problem. Does anybody else on the board wish to comment on this? Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to comment on 7 Wayne Court? Is there anybody on Zoom?
No one.
Okay, Bob, this is yours.
Okay, we're going to close the public hearing, hold it open for written submissions until September 4th, with a decision on September 17th.
Second.
Mr. Mastonia.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye. Thank you very much, Jackie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a
Good night.
You too.
Number 3 on the agenda, the application of Chandler Capital LLC, 52 Harvest Lane, Bridgehampton, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-105-1-17.14. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a Padel Court. 1, Section 330-6, General Regulations that references Section 330-11, Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for an accessory distance from front lot line setback from 90 feet to 75.4 feet and an accessory side yard setback from 30 feet to 12.2 feet. And 2, Section 330-76D, placement of accessory building structures and uses in all districts, and Section 330-83C, yards, to allow the Padel Court to be located within the required side yard for the principal building and any other relief necessary. In addition, applicant requests that ZBA decision number D022049 dated May 19, 2022 be modified to allow the proposed tennis court to be built at grade rather than sunken.
The board has jurisdiction.
Mr. Lucasio, do you want to introduce
Yes.
yourself and tell us your address?
Yes, good evening, members of the board. Brian Lucasio with the Adam Miller Group, 2462 Main Street, Bridgehampton, New York, attorney for the applicant. I'd like to start out by saying we are removing the request to modify the decision for the tennis court. After consideration and discussion with the neighbors, we're going to keep it as is, so that's remaining.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, because I went
Yep.
over to the
Yes.
property, was the neighbor's court sunken? It looked like it was. Anyhow, but,
I
okay,
don't-
that was going to be an
I'm under
issue for
impression
me.
it's At grade, but it's either way, it's
It's off.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Okay.
tennis on tennis, so I have some handouts here that I
Okay.
think will be helpful as I work my way through. As stated, the property is 52 Harvest Lane, it's in the R80 zoning district, the lot is 80,325 square feet. It's currently improved with a house, garage, pool, and sport court. As stated, I was before this board in 2022 and received a variance for a sunken tennis court, more or less in the location of the existing sport court on that aerial I just sent to you. The applicant, after further consideration, is also wishing to put a padel court on the opposite side of the property. As stated in the relief, the court is at its closest point, 12.2 feet from the property line, where 30 feet is required for the proposed seating area, and the court itself is 20 feet from the lot line, where 30 feet is required. The applicant also owns the adjoining ag reserve lot, which creates an additional 20-foot buffer between the next residentially improved lot. So, in reality, this court will be at its closest point, 32.2 feet from the adjoining lot, and abutting a tennis court. As shown on the aerials, tennis courts and sport courts are scattered throughout this area. The property is extensively screened. I have aerials of the existing vegetation, all which will remain. We have letters of support from the neighbor. There is
Which neighbor?
the impacted neighbor.
Okay.
We actually have a letter from the other neighbor for the tennis court, but there was some confusion over the sunken nature, and given that they supported that, we're keeping that as is, so that's off the table as I stated.
Yeah.
Are these the letters that are,
Yes, yep, correct, yes, they're part of
The
the
existing
application.
sports quarters remain?
The sport court is being removed.
And tennis court.
And the tennis court is gonna go, yeah, more or less in that location, yes. It's an active family, as you can tell by the layout of this property. They have a pending building permit to do an expansion to the house, expand the garage and put a proposed pool house. This is their residence, and they're kind of doing a lifetime dream here, but given the existing location of the sanitary for the pool house, that's what drives the front yard setback request. Again, this court will be heavily screened, you won't be able to see it from the street. All the vegetation is remaining, we're happy to offer that as any,
that it remain and be maintained?
yes, if you're so inclined to approve it. Happy to answer any questions you may have, address any comments.
I went to the property, so let me
Yeah, of course.
just, okay, so tell me something about the proposed Padel structure. Is it sunken? Does it have the sound barriers that normally accompany it
Yes,
with?
it's at grade, but it will have the standard Padel, wall surrounding it.
Okay, and then the other question I have is the 33 by 65. While not directly specified in our code, the pickleball courts are 30 by 60. Why is this 33 by 65?
That was the court that was designed for the Padel court. I'd have to address that, but we're happy to,
Could you look into that?
Yep.
Because, I mean,
Yep.
we try to stay within, like I said,
Understood.
our standards. So you look into whether it can be 30 by 60.
yeah, we're happy to offer it is Padel and not pickleball court.
Yes,
But-
I understand, but they're still noisy.
It gets to the minimum
Yeah,
necessary.
we want the minimum necessary, so that's, And then my other question is, it seems that the request for the 12.2 is to accommodate a proposed seating area. Is that necessary? Does it have to be on that side?
It doesn't. We can, I'll speak with my client, but I think that we could easily concede that.
Yeah, I mean, it
Put
seems
it on
to
the other
me.
side,
Yeah, or
it's
just
less an
put a
issue.
Patio there, understood.
Just put a
Yep.
lawn chair up or something. I
Yes.
mean, but I just.
Correct.
I mean, the 12.2, it seems like,
Yep.
kind of
I-
silly to, yeah, okay,
Yes. I'll confirm. I'm happy to offer the removal of the proposed seating area.
okay.
You're still gonna need some relief, but
Yes,
Yeah, it'll bring us to 20
Significantly
instead of
less.
12.
it'll bring you to 20, which will be a lot better than the 12.2, and also it just didn't seem necessary.
And I do think it's a distinguishing factor in that we own the adjoining lot and that 20-foot flagpole. So it does, while I understand it's a separate lot, it does create the appropriate setback that the code would require from this structure to the next improved residential lot.
And the only
Well,
concern
it'd be
is,
30 feet, but so if you.
But in
moved it-
reality, it will be 40 feet from the adjoining improved property line.
Yes, I understand, yes, no,
but
and
if it
I,
was ever sold, then we have,
It's an ag reserve, though. I mean,
It stays
I understand what you're saying, though. It's a separate lot, and it's still set back from that property line, but to the extent, the impact to the neighbor is what we're trying to avoid, there is that additional buffer there.
okay, but I think definitely moving the proposed seating
Yeah,
area
that
is
won't be
just
an
sort of.
issue. I'll make that clear to my client.
All right, and then all of the arborvitae that's on the other side of the flag, the road, supposedly flag lot, which seems to be, that's arborvitae, that belongs to the neighbor, I assume?
Are you, like, all of this here?
Yeah,
Yes, that's the neighbor's property line.
okay. And so you're going to maintain the hedge on your property?
Yeah, and there's,
Okay, and
correct,
there's-
and there's dense vegetation. If you look at the aerial, the photo, it's the actual first photo I sent. You can see it.
It's very dense, I mean, yeah.
That's all gonna remain, and we're happy to maintain screening, but this is all additional on top of the arborvitae screening between the
Right.
property line and the
Right.
house.
Right. Okay, so those are basically my comments, to bring the Padel Court down, is it Padel or
Fidel,
Padel? Padel Court down to the 30 by 60, and to take out the seating, and vegetation to remain. And then it's the typical structure of the soundproofing the walls or whatever. Anybody else have a question about it? Okay. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard? Okay, you can come up. But anybody else who wants to be heard on 52 Harvest Lane, let us know.
Good evening, I'm Pamela Harwood, President of the Bridgehampton Civic Association.
Pamela,
I'm sorry.
let me swear you in.
Oh, yes.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thank you. I reside at 371 Woodland Drive in Bridgehampton. I wasn't ready to speak about this tonight, but I just felt I should come up to be consistent, because the Bridgehampton Civic has a lot of members who their main concern is noise. And it could be noise coming from a lot of different places, but it could be tennis courts, and I'm not that familiar with paddle courts, but I Googled it, and from what I can see, they're very noisy. And what I hear a lot is if we put in hedging or buffer, that'll do the trick. But I know on my property, there's a conforming swimming pool next door to me, and I have a forsythia hedge on my side, then a wooden fence, and then they have a green giant arborvitae hedge on their side. That's 3 different buffers. I can hear every word they are saying when they're at the swimming pool.
And
So-
I hope that they know that,
And they do, because I've told them.
yeah.
And once we tell them, then they settle down, whatever. But, so I know that those barriers are not the cure-all that some think they are. So I just want to be consistent in the civic's position about these things, because it seems an increasing trend since COVID that everyone has to have their own tennis court or paddle or pickleball. We used to all join tennis clubs and play at tennis clubs and not have them at our home. That could be bothering neighbors. And I think these are, from what I read, very, very noisy, and the neighbors right now may not oppose it, but they may not live there in a year from now. And a future person might live there and find it very noisy. And the proliferation, I think, does change the character of the whole Hamptons, because I know we're not just talking about Bridgehampton here. So that's it. Thanks very
Thank you
much.
for your comments. I just do want to make a point.
Yes.
We live in a very flat area, a lot of wind and water reflecting. Sound travels out
Yeah.
here, and it's really very difficult to control that in a total way. So I
It is. You're-
appreciate your
you're very right
point,
about that.
and, you know, and the proliferation, there's just so much that, you know, this board can do about that, so.
Well, except that I understand the boards don't have to compromise and
Well, I mean, you
acquiesce.
know, that's
that's all.
correct, that's correct, but
Thanks very much.
is this, it's not sunken, this,
It's not being proposed as sunken, no.
okay. Okay.
And what would the setback be with the modified conversation we just had?
We would be at 20.
20
Where
feet.
30 is
Where
required.
30 is required, and your contention is you have
The
the,
additional 20 feet flags to the wheel, and so reality will be 40
so in
feet.
effect,
Yeah.
you assert that you're complying.
Yes, there's an argument to be made, and that's what distinguishes this from you know, if it was just abutting a house and we were
Right.
asking for 20 feet.
Understood.
Right.
That's never gonna change anyway.
No, that's not going to change. Okay, is there anybody else in the audience who wishes to be heard? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard?
There's one person.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Meredith Berkowitz from the Bridgehampton Civic Association. I did come prepared to talk about this one tonight for the Civic. I do monitor the ZBA for the Civic, so I do watch all of them, and I do try to prepare in advance. I mostly came with some questions, but Susan, you actually addressed some of them, which is
You're an
one of the things I was going
attorney,
to ask.
correct? Meredith, before you
Sorry.
proceed, you're an attorney, correct?
I am an attorney.
Yes, thank you.
So one of the questions I was going to ask is whether the viewing, given that they were asking for a variance, whether the viewing area was necessary, and they were asking for variance from the setback. I also heard another question that just now that I was curious about, which is, you said that it wasn't enclosed, but I thought Padel Courts, the difference between Padel and Pickle is that Padel is enclosed with glass enclosures, isn't
Yes,
it?
correct. As we stated, yes, it will be. It's
Oh, it will
Padel,
be,
which
okay, because I
enclosed,
thought I
yes.
heard you say it wasn't, and then I was gonna ask
No.
why, the difference with pickle, that,
No.
okay, so as long as it's enclosed. So my question was about the viewing area, and then also, sorry, I lost my train of thought. The variance, and then the only other comment I had is, you know, generally, as the Civic, we come to these things because, you know, again, it is again asking for variance relief, just like they did for the tennis court. This becomes a question of, you know, how many things does somebody need? And they have the variance relief for the tennis court, they have the pool, they have, well, I guess they're removing the sport court now, and now they're asking for the padel court as well, in addition to the tennis court, all of which require together variance relief. And so, you know, the zoning code was adopted, our comment basically is just that the zoning code was adopted to limit overdevelopment of lots and to tell people what they could do on their lots. And what we're seeing is people trying to maximize and exceed what the zoning code allows. And this is, you know, a smaller degree of it, but still a degree of it. And so that was my only comment. And again, seeing whether the viewing area could be eliminated. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Meredith. Okay, is there anybody else? This is mine, so we're going to, anybody on the board want to respond before? All right, we're going to close the public hearing. We're going to hold it open for written comments until 9/4 with a decision on 9/17 with all the stipulations that we agreed to. And you will get back to me about as you can do it as a written submission, the size of the court.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonio?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald? Ms. Burgess? Chair votes aye. Okay, thank you, Brian. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, number 4 on the agenda, application of 83 Sabonic Road LLC, 83 Sabonic Road, Tuckahoe, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-129-1-16. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code. 1, to allow for the conversion of an existing cottage into an accessory building to be used as an accessory apartment. Sub 1, Section 330-11, Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for an accessory distance from front lot line, a setback of 8.5 feet where 70 feet is required, and sub 2, Section 330-11.2F, Special Standards for an accessory distance from front lot line, setback of 8.5 feet where 49 feet is required, 70% of the required 70 feet, and 2, to legalize a shed constructed without the benefit of a building permit, Section 330-11, for an accessory distance from front lot line setback of 52.9 feet where 70 feet is required and any other relief necessary.
The board has jurisdiction.
For the applicant, David Gilmartin Jr., 2317 Montauk Highway, Bridgehampton, with the firm of Greenberg Traurig. Good evening. We are here tonight to address two of the code provisions that I disagree with. And the narrative and how we get there is there was originally a very small, modest house on the lot. My client wanted to increase the size of it. It was more than 50% of an expansion, and I'll get to the lot coverage later, but it was quite small. But you get over the 50%, it turns into a use variance. We have a pre-existing cottage on the house, which now we have to turn into an accessory structure. In doing that, it wipes out all of the pre-existing rights that we have, and I know this board has not viewed it literally like this, but it wipes clean everything that's there, and you need relief from it. So as we work through the test here, I would just make two observations. Everything, except for the shed, everything on the lot's pre-existing, so the cottage and the house. We're in the process of expanding the house. We have a building permit, and that construction is underway. The challenge from this lot is, if you've seen the survey, it's pie-shaped, so it's all of a front yard. So those are the challenges that we go into it. The write-up of the relief and the way that the building department looked at it, kind of interesting. I don't know if the setback is 70 or 49.9, or I guess they look at it two different ways, but I haven't seen that before. So 330-11, it's from 70 to 8.5 feet, and then the special standards have it 49 to 8.5 feet.
Right.
So the benefit here tonight, I think, is really obvious. My client has the ability to expand the main dwelling and yet retain the cottage, which has existed prior to 57. I think there is very little change to or impact the character of the neighborhood. You have, I saw the chairwoman look at, if you look at it, a couple things in the aerial stick out. One, across the street, directly across from where the cottage is, which is what this is about, is property that's owned by the village of Southampton. It's the pistol range for the police. And then the town has purchased a large swath on the other side that's called Tuckahoe Woods. So across the street, the lot that would be directly impacted, there's really no impact. There's a house across the street where I believe, across Sabonic, I believe the neighbors here in support, and then there's the Southampton Golf Club. So the impact to the character of the neighborhood is minimal. This is, although irregularly shaped, one of the larger lots on the property, and the property to our west on Sabonic also has an accessory apartment on site. Our lot is an actual acre, not a builder's acre, but an actual acre in the lot next to us that has the accessory apartments, 30,000 square feet. So again, our challenge is that it's pre-existing. The cottage has been located there since prior to 57. And then with the shed, it's the oddly shaped lot. With the question of substantiality, I think in residential cases, the easiest way to look at that is lot coverage. How much of the lot coverage is it taking up? And in this instance, I think the numbers are pretty compelling. we're entitled to 20% lot coverage in the R40 zoning district. The existing is 4.8%, and then the proposed is 7.4%. And this is laid out on the survey, so those numbers are there. So at the end of this, if the board were to grant this, only 36% of the lot coverage would be used. So it's a modest improvement to the house and the retention of the cottage. Again, I think, you know, when I talked in the beginning about these two parts of the code and their limitations, I think that's a, you know, clear message that there's no other method through which we could get this done, achieve this result. With respect to the impact to the environment, the property is being upgraded with an IA system that the cottage will connect to. And again, it's the cottage and the shed. The shed obviously doesn't have any facilities in it. And with respect to the self-created hardship, you know, again, the quirks of the code, and the way that they're applied to this particular property in this way, I think create the hardship. But in any event, a self-created hardship is not fatal to an area variance application, as this board has held time immemorial. So we respectfully request that you grant the variance.
John, this is yours.
Yeah, other than hearing from anyone who's opposed to it, I have no problem with this application.
Summarize, I'm sorry, John, finish.
No, given the nature of the piece of property and what abuts it.
So specifically, what's the relief? The relief for the accessory structure,
The cottage,
The
which is
cottage.
being converted to an accessory
right,
apartment.
so we
as-
have to, do we legalize the conversion of the cottage to an accessory apartment? Is that something that you're required to seek variance relief
I
from?
think we need the setback for the accessory apartment. We're converting it, I guess, from a cottage to an
Okay,
accessory
okay.
apartment.
Right, to allow for the conversion, they need this variance of the
Okay, so
front
to
line
allow for the
setback.
conversion, okay. So it's the setback of 8.5 feet where 70 or 49 feet is required, right?
It's an and, it's not a or.
It's
And.
and?
It's an and.
It's an and,
It's
okay,
and because they're changing that cottage into what he said, an accessory building, which means it has to meet accessory structure setbacks, which is 330-11. And
okay.
11.2, the special standards has its own calculation.
I know,
for
I looked it
setbacks.
up, it does have its own calculation,
Right,
so
so
it's
we'll
both.
Provide a variance as to both
Correct.
For both,
sections of the
okay.
code.
Okay. And then legalize the shed,
Correct.
that's right, okay. And,
Are you asking us to
Provide the
legalize
setback
it, or
relief for the
you're gonna move
garage.
it until it is legal?
I don't think we can, right, based on its location. We can't go any further. So, obviously, it's the front yard. So we're gonna leave it and ask for variance to keep it where it is at 59.2 feet away from the street. And this, if you look at the aerial, you can see that this is screened along the entire
Yeah.
property.
And you need the relief for the garage as well, 70 to 40 feet?
that's not
In your
been,
application, it's not on.
not in the notice,
the
our
notice.
agenda.
So let's just be clear whether we
Yeah.
need that or not.
I mean, I would, when I looked at it and with the interpretation that the building department gave me, I put it in the application. Somehow they deemed it not necessary
Where
through
is
the
the garage?
process.
Oh, over here, the 40.4.
Yes.
Should we provide that relief just in case?
I would do that. I would do that.
Yeah,
I would
just in
provide
case,
the
we'll provide that variance.
40.4 setback for the.
So you don't have to come back again,
Right.
God forbid,
Right.
somebody changes their mind.
Right. I agree. I mean, I
We
really.
calculated wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that's fair. Okay, so that's what we need, the setback for the cottage, legalize the shed and the setback, and the garage. Okay. Anybody else on the board wishes to comment? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to comment on 83 Sabonic Road? Anybody on Zoom?
No one.
John, this is yours.
Okay, so I move to close the public hearing on this application, hold open for written submissions to September 4th with a decision on September 17th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? And Chair votes aye, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good.
Okay, number 5 on the agenda, the application of Andrew Hawley, 52 Wickatuck Drive, Noyak, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-15-2-22. Applicant requests relief in the following provisions of the Town Code. 1, for a proposed outdoor shower with an 8-foot-high enclosure on a non-conforming lot. Section 330-84D, height pyramid for a pyramid encroachment of 28.62 cubic feet. Section 330-11, Residence District's Table of Dimensional Regulations for an accessory side yard setback of 3.83 feet where a minimum of 8 feet is required. Section 330-76D, Placement of accessory buildings, structures, and uses in all districts. And Section 330-83C, Yards, to allow the outdoor shower to be located within the minimum and total side yard for the principal building, and Section 330-109A3, fences, walls, accessory driveway structures, and clotheslines, to allow the fence enclosure to be 8 feet in height where a maximum of 6 feet is permitted, and 2, to legalize 2 AC units installed without the benefit of a building permit, Section 330-77G, placement of accessory building structures and uses in all residence districts for a side yard setback of 7 feet where a minimum of 8 feet is required, and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction.
Are either of you attorneys? No. Okay, let me swear you in. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, please state your name and address separately.
Eugene Hotstein, 74-51, 260th Street, Glen Oaks, New York, 11004.
Okay,
I am Andrew Halley, the homeowner of 52 Wickatuck Drive, New York, 11963. I own the home with my partner. It's a family home that's been in his family for 50 years. After his parents passed on, we knocked it down and built a home, which was to be our retirement home, which we are starting to finally enjoy in our retirement. And now it's time to put in an outdoor shower. We went to get a building permit. We were denied because of the setback, and here we are at the variance process. So we're just looking to put a modest 6.5-foot shower on the side of the house. It's the only practical place to put it. The other side of the house is a driveway, so we wouldn't be able to go there. On the back of the house is a deck. We can't put it on the deck because there's a window and sliding glass doors. To put it in front of the deck, you'd look down over into the shower, and we don't want it in the front of the house either, so practically, there's nowhere else to place the shower. We did, as required, reach out to our 6 neighbors. I have letters here from all of them. They have no issues whatsoever. They all approve what we showed them and things like that. Candace will provide copies for the board. That's the shower issue. When we were going through the application process for the variance, it was determined that on the one survey, there are HVAC systems that are presently there that have been there for 16 and a half years weren't part of the process. So that was thrown into this variance process. I have invoices from Hardy Electric showing that it has been there for the past 16 and a half years. So.
Those into the record? Did you provide them to Candace?
No, those I literally just got the other day, so.
okay, you should do that.
So I can do that, so. And with regard to that
Fence. What's up with the fence?
so, talking with the ZBA, they were saying basically they were going to consider the shower as a fence regulations versus the.
The height, we're talking the height.
Yeah. So
The height.
we're looking for 8 feet. This
It's
is where
actually-
Eugene is
The
better.
panels are actually 6.5 feet high, and then the posts, so there's really just 2 posts that hold it up. So-
And that's the 8
and
feet is the
they're
2
7
posts?
feet. The tower that actually is in the middle that holds the shower head, that is literally 8 feet because it's a rain shower. So there's only one little, if you will, 4x4 that goes up 8 feet. The 2 posts that would be not against the building but out in the yard they would be the 7 feet. It's only 6.5 feet, and then there's a gap of about 5 inches, and then it's a headrail that goes around that keeps it structurally intact. There's also 8.5 plus in height privets along that whole property. We're kind of up on a hill, and you can't see it from the back, you can't see it from the front. The neighbor on the side is more than happy, he said, whatever you, like I said, they're not visible. It's the yard is landscaped, as you can see from the pictures. It's modest in size. It's only about 6.5 feet in depth compared with the house, which is roughly 36 feet, and the property itself is 164 feet. So when you think we only want to bump out for really a 6.5, and it's freestanding, of course, it'll be nice looking from the point of the wood. Is the wood on it is going to be clear wood, and so that anybody looks at it, it'll just look like a little box. And again, it's 6
Well,
feet.
it looks to me as if, I guess the AC units are in front of the shower.
In the front of the house, yes.
Okay, in the front of the house, and then it's not like the shower blocks the AC units.
No, so if you look at this
yeah,
picture.
no, I see,
The shower
yeah.
would go here, the AC units are above those, in front of those
Those
bushes.
bushes?
Yeah.
And then, to be honest with you, you can't see, there was 2 steps built there when the deck went up with the whole idea that the shower was gonna be at the old house, which is in the same footprint.
Which had an outdoor
Had an
shower.
outdoor shower used for years. It was never any problem with the neighbors or anything.
The shower's gonna go where the
We-
hose
We
is.
don't sit in the shower, we're very quiet. I visited during COVID, I never.
Do you want to
saw
put that
one of
in a
those.
stipulation?
No singing.
Whose vegetation is that? I mean, whose bushes are those?
These privets here?
Yeah.
They're our next door neighbors,
Okay,
They're the neighbors, and to be honest with you, we
but
maintain them.
we maintain them.
okay,
$500 down the trip.
all right,
What's the
but,
setback now again? Just remind me.
So it's actually, we
It's
have
10
10
feet is
feet on
needed.
that side.
10 feet on that
And the
side.
shower is gonna come out literally, we're keeping it a little bit, about 6 inches off the off the wall, so that we can
Right.
get clean leaves behind it and clean the
Right.
siding. And then it actually comes out, so we'd be left with 3 foot 10 inches. But again, that's for a section of the building. It's only 6
Yeah,
feet.
I understand.
right. So it's actually on the survey, it says 3.8.
Yeah.
So, and the AC units are 7 feet. Okay, so, my only, I was curious about the 8 feet. Now you explained it to me, it's basically the faucet that's 8 feet.
Yep.
And that the sides are 6.5. I mean, that's like just a half a foot over. And you don't want it too low for a shower. Yes, no, I get that. So, particularly when you're so close to the property line.
It's annoying, the properties are so narrow.
Yeah, no, I get it. But my concern is the maintenance of the shrubbery over there. I mean, it's not yours. If your neighbor decides to, I guess it would not be in their interest to do that, to take it down, but, that's my only concern. But it doesn't seem like there's a lot of space for you to put up something
This
else.
is where I was going with,
Yeah.
how much is there, and
Yeah.
if the other person decided to put up a simple fence or something, all of a sudden it's a little closer than right now it would appear, right? And, I mean, is there any give on the size, six foot shower? Nice size shower.
Well, the idea is for everybody is in there getting close to their 70s or whatever, and accessibility and
Okay.
being able to turn.
To get a walker in, to have a dry area to turn around and switch and change and all.
I don't think it's an enormous
Just those
shower.
privets have been there for.
Okay, all right. Okay. Anybody else on the board have anything to see?
I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah, all right. Is-
Can I just make one
Yeah,
request?
go ahead.
If we're going to consider this as proposed, can we decide, or can we agree that in the decision, the limit of the 8 foot is not on a fence, right? But it's to an architectural feature of the shower itself. I don't want somebody presenting back to us, you gave us 8 feet here, here's an 8 foot, variance. It's a post.
It would be very helpful if you could submit a written design of what the shower is, so that we can say that, we're gonna repeat in the
I'm
decision.
not sure, I think in this, which is included, it actually gives the whole.
All right, so we
By the
could make
architect,
reference
okay.
to the submission of the
It actually
this.
shows the depth of everything and
Well, I think the thing that throws everything is that it's being called a fence enclosure.
Yeah.
And I think we should probably call it something else.
It's
To
really like that portion
differentiate
right
from
there,
a
right?
fence,
Yes.
because it's in a section that deals with fences, walls, and other accessory structures. So,
It's just this portion.
yeah, call it a shower enclosure.
It's just this portion.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a very good suggestion from our
Thank you.
planning department.
Yes.
Shower enclosure. And I think what we will do, Mark, is make reference to we'll put the plan in the decision, reference the plan in the decision, which is going to show.
Okay, although that's not referenced
have
in
to call it fence.
330-109A3, it references only fences, as was pointed out, but I suppose the board would have discretion to do that.
Okay.
But it's not
Okay.
like a perimeter.
Do you need anything from,
That's the thing.
I guess not. I guess we don't need anything additional. Do you agree?
You don't need anything additional, right? You don't want anything additional, right?
No,
Okay, okay. This was John's, and he's not here, so I'm going to take it, and I'm going to say if I can find my agenda. I'm going to say we're going to close the public hearing, going to hold it open for written comments until September 4th, with a decision on September 17th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Mastoni.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. And Chair votes aye. Thank you, gentlemen.
thank you very much for your time.
Okay.
Okay, number 7 on the agenda, application of Christopher Fieldland, 61 Middle Pond Road, Shinnecock Hills, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-234-1-8.3.
Can you just give me a minute? I have to switch to another bag which has your application. Here we go. A lot of material. I think I swore, did I swear everybody, all of you in last time? Yes. Okay, so just for the record, please restate your names and addresses, please.
Okay, I'm Wayne Fieldland. I'm acting agent for my son Christopher and daughter-in-law Cecilia. My address is 11 Alita Place in Ramsey, New Jersey.
Okay,
I'm Cecilia Caldera. My address is 21 Aspen Road, Scarsdale, New York, 10583.
Cecilia, just spell your last name for me.
Sure, Caldeira.
Christopher Fieldland, 11 Alita Place, Ramsey, New Jersey, 07446.
okay. So, some stuff has happened since we last met, so do you want to go through what changes have been made? and-
Sure. Yeah, since we met, we took your recommendations and we moved the garage forward, which significantly reduced a lot of the pyramid encroachment. And with that, we were hoping that would be satisfactory for the zoning board. And then we also took it upon, your recommendation was to do the FOIL search for all the neighboring properties with similar additions, renovations, and construction. And we found that we're in compliance with, and actually a little bit below what some of them were expecting to do. And we feel that we're in line with the character of the neighborhood, and we're respectfully requesting your approval for the construction.
As proposed.
If I may add, we also did go through the process of getting the tax records in order to confirm that it is indeed a non-conforming lot. So to further emphasize the point of the non-conforming lot associated with the design plan.
I think we were looking at that for single and separate, which was, so I went through, if you can believe it, every one of those tax things. And I made a notation that there were tax records from 1995 to 2002 for 61 Middle Lane, and tax records for 63 from 2000 to 2003. So it didn't seem really current, but I think it shows that they were separately taxed, in my opinion. So, I mean, I think that meets what our requirements are for single and separate. Okay, let me see, so what is the reduced, what is the, all right, it's Kevin.
Yeah,
What
no,
is
that's
the-
where I'm going, so
All
keep
right,
going.
So what is the new, I think I wrote it down
What was
somewhere.
the old, what's the new?
Yeah.
Well, for the garage, the old was 1,074 cubic feet, and the reduction is down to 560 cubic feet.
Okay.
Just about half.
And you're leaving the house with those, I can't remember now, is there other?
You submitted, if I read this right, you have two plans, one with 8 feet, one with 9 feet.
Right.
Right.
And what's the gain, what's the reduction between that, assuming that's the only change you made?
Right.
I don't know.
No, that is the only change that we made, and with that, the reduction of the 8-foot ceiling
At 8 feet,
would
it's,
be 1,050, whereas the 9-foot ceiling is 1,826. So it would be about an additional 800 cubic feet with an 8-foot ceiling.
With an 8-foot ceiling.
and I think we did ask you to do that calculation because we were interested in seeing if we could
Yeah,
get a
we wanted to
reduction
know
in
if
the.
it mattered, and it's,
Yeah, seems to
it's
matter.
almost half the original house, and the garage adjustment is.
About half.
About half, so it's total is around 1,500-ish?
Total, yeah.
1,600.
Within the package, we also included photographs of the property along with the neighboring homes, and you can see that those homes are quite high. And we think that our house would be less conforming with the neighborhood.
With which, 8 or 9?
With the 8.
Okay.
I think if we stick with the 9, it would actually be more conforming to the neighboring lots.
Because the adjacent house is actually built at a higher elevation. They built a railroad tie retaining wall to raise the grade when they constructed it. So the height of that building kind of dwarfs even this new construction.
Right.
And one thing that we want to emphasize too is that by no means would this design affect any form of light, air, privacy, views, surrounding areas, or anything attached with the property as well.
So if it's 9 foot, what's the house? What is the cubic footage pyramid relief?
It was 1,826 plus 560.
60. Okay.
We'd also like to make the argument too that unfortunately, due to the non-conforming law, which I think is really what our struggle is that really what pushes the building envelope for us. So in other words, if we had a conforming lot, that a similar design plan would likely potentially not even exceed the pyramid. So our request to some extent is really, as a function of something that we simply inherited. We didn't obviously create the non-conforming conditions, but yet we are subject to them.
I hear what you're saying.
That's
But the nine-
virtually
the
every
9-foot ceiling
application that
is-
comes before us.
I'm sorry, John.
I just said that's virtually every application that comes before us.
Yeah,
So-
and you guys just
But
made the
that's why
case.
you have to have it, the variance, because.
Yeah, variances are necessary, but
Yeah.
not necessarily exactly what everybody wants.
And the 9-foot ceiling versus 8-foot ceiling actually makes the case that it's half the pyramid relief on the main structure, right?
Yeah.
A little bit less.
Oh, yeah, about approximately half, yeah.
Well, it reduces it from 1,800 to, what was that again? 5 something?
Well, it's on the
No,
garage.
that's the garage.
Oh, sorry.
Which has already been
1,056.
reduced based on your previous
Yeah,
comments.
1,050.
Yeah, it's like 80%.
Right.
Less is better.
Yeah, but, the funny thing is, like when I went through the foils, I went to all the neighboring homes, and I actually found, I was quite surprised, there was one house in particular that I came across on the foil, and it did not have a variance, yet it does fall into the category that it exceeds the pyramid.
It got, because of the floodplain,
Well, it's in the flood zone. It's in the AE 10,
Yeah.
which is higher than this flood zone. Ours is AE 9.
Right.
But it's in the flood zone, and ironically, it has the building permit has a finished basement, which in the flood zone, you're not allowed to have that. So it's really a 3-story building on a non-conforming lot with 15-foot side setback with 9-foot ceilings and a 10-foot first floor. And there was no variance, there's no
was
flood
that built in the
relief.
last 10 years?
It's under
Being built
construction right now.
now.
The permit was issued in February of this year.
I can't explain that.
We can't address that. We can only address what's come before us. And so if,
We certainly understand that, and the argument here is not one in which it's just because somebody else did it, we should do it too. But when we take a look at both the design plan and even the intended plan of the neighborhood, our whole idea is to really build a house that does ultimately conform to sort of the structure of the neighborhood. And so if there are homes in which, do have that level of magnitude, part of our argument is that, we're simply asking to sort of conform and ensure that, the house isn't also an eyesore in terms of, wow, how is this house so much shorter than all of the other houses in the neighborhood? So we also want to be consistent and, and ensure that we're building something that really does suit the neighborhood.
Right, but to be fair, we're just hearing testimony from you that there are other houses in the neighborhood that are big. And that's not really anything.
That's why we provided all the foils.
We also have, we have FOIL information so that it isn't, in other words, respectfully, it's not hearsay. We have
Where is
all
that?
of that.
It's part of the packet that was sent to us.
So, I mean, what are the issues we're discussing? You moved the garage, which is great, and reduced half the, that's 500. So now we're discussing an 8 or a 9-foot ceiling?
Correct.
I don't,
We'll go 8 to 6, I'm kidding.
I mean,
Split the difference.
No, just for the character of the neighborhood again, and.
Are we talking 8-foot ceilings, first floor, second floor, or are we talking?
It's 9 foot, we were
First
requesting
floor.
9 foot first and second, and
First
the
and
recommendation
second.
was 9 and 8 on the second.
And
But
so
the
what
issue
is
is
your-
architecturally, it's a
I know.
gambrel roof.
All right, well, let me just ask, what is the 8-foot ceiling that you're giving the, 1,050 square foot? Is that a 9-foot first floor and an 8-foot
Correct.
second floor?
Correct.
Okay, I feel that that's fair. I feel that's fair.
Yeah, so do I.
We're not saying 8-foot first and 8-foot second, we're saying 9-foot first and 8-foot second, and I think that's fair. We're trying really hard to, and I can't speak to other building and other variances that have been granted. All we're doing, as John says, is looking at what's before us.
No, I understood, and we were just trying to conform with what's been approved and,
Perhaps the package with the photographs we could just look at. I just would like to
I
see,
saw them, we
compare.
saw them. Yeah, we reviewed them.
yeah.
To me, that's not terribly persuasive, because you're asking for a significant amount of relief. You're also asking for relief with regard to a detached garage. We are here, we've heard earlier that we're here to control development, which we're not. We are a permissive board. We're here to address non-conforming lots, because variance regulations are not one size fits all, because properties are not one size fits all. And so we're willing to provide, but we are here to provide the minimum relief necessary for you to achieve your goals. And so to take off 1 foot on a second floor is not a huge ask.
Right.
It's not a huge ask.
And that relieves half the requested.
And almost half the requested relief, and makes us comfortable as a board, considering the fact, and the public has to consider that when applicants come in front of us and ask for relief like this, when we talk about a change to the character of the community, the change to the character of the community doesn't happen overnight with one application. It happens in a creep. And little by little, you start to see larger and larger and larger and different, and we can't control styles, but we certainly can control mass to a certain extent, and
Yeah.
give a little bit more.
Okay, so
I
I'm just,
certainly understand that and absolutely respect 100% what's being said, and that makes a lot of sense. And we appreciate the accommodation very much by the board. Our simple argument is just that agreed that it is a slow progress. I think the differences with our application is that, this progress is already being made in the neighborhood. And so what we are simply doing is trying to match in terms of parity. And I think that a lot of the photos show that parity, and hence our, I won't say insistence, but hence our additional or supplemented request of the 9 feet, but we certainly understand.
okay, well, I'm not sure you have 4 votes of this board for the 9-foot, 9-foot.
Absolutely, we understand. So we're
So,
willing to accommodate.
And you're not doing anything with regard to the garage. The garage is.
The garage.
We
We
did.
did. And
garage.
they
Yeah,
moved
yeah,
it, and they reduced it to 560 square feet.
Okay,
We were
that's what I
very-
heard. That's where the 560 was. So that you're willing to do?
That we did, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and what about the breezeway?
We eliminated it.
And you removed the breezeway? Okay. So
We
check,
very
check,
much took
check.
into consideration what was addressed last
Thank
time
you.
with the board, so we also appreciate that feedback.
Okay, so I'm just saying that I'm not sure you've got 4 votes for the 9-9.
We will acquiesce to the 8 if that is possible, and it has been submitted in our records.
Yeah, that was the intention of submitting both.
I mean, you made the argument, which is good, but.
You take
but
a
as-
shot.
Yeah, we appreciate the willingness to hear it.
Yeah, you're making the
Appreciate
argument.
Time and consideration.
No, and thank you very much. But, okay, so with that in mind, that I think you do have the votes you need for the 9 and the 8,
Close.
I think that whose is this? Kevin, this is
Yep.
yours.
So, I'm gonna make a motion.
Before you close it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I don't have the site plan in front of me. On the site plan, I'm gonna need you to revise it, just to show the rear yard setback is 42.75. I think is missing
Yeah, it's okay, because it's split off on the page.
on the,
All right, what are we talking about here?
the most recent revised, the most recent site plan.
Yeah,
I believe there should be, if I'm not mistaken, there should be a rear yard setback to 42. Yeah, 42.75, which I don't believe is on that site plan.
Oh, you're right.
And then also the setbacks, just for clarification, the setbacks to the shower pump pool heater, that's in the rear yard.
has to be
None of those
adjusted
setbacks are
accordingly,
okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
You
so,
can add those and submit that every day.
yeah,
And bring it to you tomorrow?
yeah, no, it's no, it can be part of a written submission.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Yeah, but no, that's a good, thank you very much, that's a very good point.
Do you have any check for
Okay.
any comments?
Yes,
I'll leave
I'm
it in
sorry.
your office.
All right, is there anybody in the, thank you very much, anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on 61 Middle Pond Road? Anybody on Zoom?
No one.
Okay, Kevin, now it's yours.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to close this hearing for written comments, due 9/4 with a decision on 9/17.
Second.
So, Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Chair votes aye. So you'll get that revision into us
Tomorrow.
before, yeah, okay, as soon as
Thank you.
possible. Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you, good luck.
Number 8 on the agenda, application of Diane Ravitch for Land's End Lane, Tuckahoe, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-155-2-10.
Yep, yep, thanks.
Why did I bring this?
What did you do?
Yeah.
Is this a sympathy call?
It is not. I knew someone was gonna
It's
say that.
okay.
Here to answer the question.
Neck brace.
Yeah, right.
No, I was blessed with this house, but I was also blessed with really bad feet from my grandparents and had surgery on August 4th.
Oh, there you go.
Onion, so elective, but nonetheless.
I had a bone spur on my left foot. It's hard.
All right, let's not talk medicine, let's talk land use.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, you were both sworn in
Yes.
at the last
Yes, thank you,
thing.
definitely.
So tell us, hold on a second, where am I?
So I'm going to apologize in advance that I'm handing this all to you at the exact last minute. I really don't like to work this way, but it's just how it happened.
We're short one. If Mark, do you have an extra
I
by
have an
chance?
extra.
Do you need it first?
No, I have already seen all. That's- So at the last meeting, you may recall, we discussed construction of a new residence to replace the existing. There was a number of comments from the board, mainly to try to reduce lot coverage and just reduce pyramid, whatever variances we could. We were originally asking for 28.8% coverage. So these plans are basically a site plan. There's some lovely renderings in here, as well as floor plans and new elevations to show you the revisions that have been made. I did write you a letter stating all of these things, so I'm going to basically just go through with you right now, line by line, everything that's been done to make things better.
Good, thank you.
So, the first thing is they changed the style of the house. It was a gambrel roof originally, and there was a lot of mass associated with that. So to kind of decrease the mass, they kind of changed it into a center line colonial.
Is that this now? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
So that, I think it's prettier personally.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it really is beautiful.
Beautiful.
And it changes a number of things. So the only change to the footprint is that they've added these two little closets that are exterior accessed for equipment. They have a lot of fishing poles and clam rakes and all kinds of things that they use on the property, and this is just an additional place to store them that will be neat and tidy and not all over the place. So what the change with that just means that we need an additional foot total side yard variance, because it's just in those two little spots for these small closets. So it was a 12.5-foot setback. We need an 11.5-foot setback. And then there was, I think, John, you made the comment about like a double height cathedral area that they had, that they basically incorporated the second floor within that area. Basically, the first floor became smaller to incorporate additional deck. And then that area that was a more double height ceiling became part of the second floor. The second floor became reduced.
So that's now over your foyer, that open space?
Foyers, just, there's no cathedral.
Oh, when it says open area, that means it's
Gone.
Yeah, just like a
floored area.
hangout.
Okay, got it.
So that's really, there is no
Cathedral.
double height.
Okay.
Ceiling. That was incorporated now into living space
Yes.
to make some.
Right, okay,
You have to
okay.
continue telling us the story for us to understand the relevance of that.
Okay, so the first floor has overall been reduced by 173 square feet. So the footprint is now 2,033 square feet overall, and that includes the garage storage area. The covered entry on the street side of the property was reduced to 64 square feet, so that was a reduction of 16 square feet of roofed coverage to provide, you know, a minimum area for them to access the house with groceries or whatever. You know, I hate coming home in the rain and have to find the key, and if you have to get wet, that's annoying. So the second floor is where the majority of the work has been done. So it's centered over the first floor and was overall reduced by 386 square feet. With that change, the pyramid relief that was fairly minimal, in my opinion, originally, is further reduced by 493
So
cubic
what's the
feet.
total?
So the total now is 322 cubic feet, 300 on one side, which is the west, and 22 cubic feet on the east. So,
It came out beautiful.
yeah. So the first floor decking, as I already said, was expanded. The covered portion of the deck was reduced by 34 square feet, and what they've decided to do, I know we had a discussion about the importance of having coverage over the deck. So this small balcony that feeds off of 2 bedrooms upstairs will act as an anchor for retractable awnings over the remainder of the decking.
Great.
So that will eliminate additional roofed coverage. What else? So speaking of the roofed coverage, we reduced it totally by 286 square feet. So the percentage went from 28.8 still to 25.5%. And then the last thing is that the air conditioning units, we realized we had to put AC units on here, and that they were not gonna be in a conforming location, so we showed them, because they need to meet 10 feet. So we show them on the east side of the property at a 6-foot property line setback where 10 feet is required. So just to remind you, this is in an R40 zoning district, and this property is only 9,040 square feet, so it's only 25% of the lot area that's required for the zoning district. The lot width is 80 feet, where 150 feet is required, so it's just over 50% of the lot width required. I looked at Cold Spring Point's entire subdivision, and I am fairly confident that this is literally the smallest lot
Yep.
by a couple hundred square feet in the subdivision. So let me outline the variances that we are now asking for.
Okay.
So from 330-83K, because we're on wetlands, remember, for rear yard street setback of 30 feet and 26 feet for the proposed residence, where 35 feet is requested. So it's the residence and the porch setback.
And 35 is requested, right?
Is
required.
Yeah.
Because of the 50%?
Half of 70, yep.
Yeah.
330-11, total principal side yard of 21.5 feet, where 30 feet is required.
Go slower.
Sorry.
All right, so this is the principal side yard, go ahead.
Total principal side
Okay.
of 21.5.
The list is also on the second page of her letter.
It is on my letter,
It's
yeah,
yeah.
on the back.
It's a
Okay.
perfect, I love it. It's like, this is what we need.
Oh, all right, okay.
I
then
wanted
you
to
don't
make it
even-
as easy as possible.
Oh, thank you so much.
And you did.
I'm going to make a note,
And
C
you did.
letter.
Yeah, so 21 and a half where 30 feet is required for the residence, and then those newly added closets. We were asking for 22 and a half originally, so we are asking for the additional foot for these accommodations of the closets. Total lot coverage at 330-11 for the roof to mount in 25.5%, where 20% is allowed. And I believe the variance we need for the AC units is from 330-77G for the 6-foot setback, where 10 feet is required. And then lastly is the pyramid, 84D, in the total amount of 322 cubic feet. Again, that's 300 cubic feet on the west and 22 on the east side. So the overall living space has been reduced by 559 square feet, which is 13%, 13.5% of a reduction from the original request. I did a little math, so the proposed roofed first floor living space and garage of the modified residence is 22.5% of the total lot coverage that we're requesting. And out of that, the garage is another 4.2%. So the actual living space that is roofed is 18.3% of that lot coverage that we're asking for. The remainder, aside from the garage, is the covered front porch, which is minimal. And then that area over the deck to anchor the awnings. You know, if there is a question about the garage being converted to living space in the future, I think that they would be willing to have the variance condition that it can't be, because I don't think anybody would want to, simply because you need storage on a lot like this, because you can't have a basement. And there's not
We
really
gave up
gonna
the
be
shed.
much
We don't have a
attic
shed.
room. Yeah, there's no shed, there's no room for a shed, there's really no room for any
Yeah.
other storage on this property, so. I gave you this little thing to show you the two neighboring properties, so, what they've designed is very much in keeping with the character of at least their immediate surrounding neighbors, who have similar lots, kind of, but still not as small as this one. You asked me to look for lot coverage variances. The one that I could find is from 2017 for a lot on Cold Spring Point Road. It's a corner lot. And it's a lot that's only a couple hundred square feet bigger than this, at about 9,500 square feet, where we're at just over 9,000. And they gave them 22.7%. So, just, again, I think I said this in the first hearing, the majority of the proposed new development is within the keeping with the footprint of the existing smaller residence and existing decking, and then there is a detached shed that's pretty close to the property line that is legal. So all of that combined is very comparable to the footprint that we're seeking here. I think the only expansion is really in decking, and that's toward the water. And we have conservation approval for that. We would have to modify our conservation board permit for these changes, because they do change the square footage of the house and the deck, but I don't see an issue with that.
Have you put that application in yet?
No,
Okay.
because we're maintaining the setbacks they approved, so I really don't see an issue. It's more of a semantics kind of a
Well,
thing.
they haven't done it because we haven't said this is a good plan yet.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do too.
I think
Kevin,
it
this
answered
is
everything we
yours.
wanted.
So just a couple, a couple of refresher things for me. So the coverage of the lot presently, before any changes, is roughly what? Do you remember?
Hold on. The coverage right now is 15.6% because only the house and the shed have roofs. There's
Okay,
a bunch of decking that wraps around from the front to the side and the back.
okay. So I appreciate the real effort you made and the reductions in the coverage that was made. I have to tell you, I'm still troubled by 25%, and I have to digest what you just handed in. But I do appreciate the effort that was made, and I appreciate how you laid it out, and if we had gotten this sooner, it would have been easier to
Well,
talk about.
yeah.
So, I'm not being critical, I'm just
No, I
acknowledging.
understand.
Okay.
I think you also made the point in the beginning that in your review, this is probably the smallest lot in the area. And that may be one of the driving forces for having to be 25%.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the 25% personally. I mean, does anybody on the board have any other comments?
No, I think this is
No,
a nice,
this is-
a nice compromise. I appreciate it.
I mean, I hope
and I
you
think it's
appreciate the
beautiful.
fact that we probably caused you to have a nicer house, maybe?
Well,
Who knows?
sometimes, no.
Yeah, I know.
Really worked hard, and
Well,
again, I
and
have a great
I'm very
team.
impressed that you got this all done in the short amount of time that, I mean, it's really pretty impressive. So,
Yeah, the architect was literally working until last night to finalize
and I.
the details.
Yeah, and I
So-
understand that, and we're obviously gonna digest this, but I think you're getting a sense from this board, at least right now, that we're gonna ask for comments from the audience. So, is there anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on 4 Land's End Lane? Anybody on Zoom?
No one.
Okay, Kevin, this
Yep.
is yours.
I'm gonna make.
Wait,
Daphne, is this the plot plan that the board's gonna be referring to in the decision, or is there
Yes.
another survey? I need someone to have this sealed and signed, all the plans, I think we might have discussed that. This set of plans have to be sealed and signed by a
Okay.
licensed professional.
Okay,
Just give me one copy of it.
that's fine.
Appreciate it, thank you.
So I'm going to make a motion to close the hearing on this application with written comments submitted to, by the date 9/4 with a decision on 9/17.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? And Chair votes aye. Thank you very much for all your efforts, and
Thank
good luck with
you.
your leg.
Feel better.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, I appreciate it.
Okay, number 9 on the agenda, application of 162 Jobs Lane LLC, 321 Rose Hill Road, Water Mill, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-115-3-14.3.
Good evening, Carl Benacasa, 860 Montauk Highway, Watermill, for the applicant.
Hey, Carl,
Being passed around is a revised survey. You can ignore the green highlights in that survey, because neither I nor Mr. Bregman could figure out what they mean, so
ignore them. What's relevant is originally we had a 70-foot setback from the road. When we're requesting relief, this 90 is permitted under the code. And as you can see, we've pushed it back, so now we are meeting that. We are no longer requesting that relief.
Okay, so hold on, let's just, so no longer,
Yes, the accessory setback from the front yard, that relief is off the table.
okay.
As we mentioned last time, and this seemed compelling with the previous application tonight, and with previous decisions of the board, most notably, decision D01211155, which noted that the proximity of flag strips are considered a significant buffer for the subject tennis court. It was a relief, side yard relief for a tennis court, thereby resulting in little, if any, impact to the neighboring properties. So going along with that theme, and which I'm echoing from an earlier application tonight, there is this 20-foot flagpole directly adjacent on the side yard property. The court is 30 feet from the nearest really livable, habitable lot, which is compliant with the setback under the code. So I think that is an ameliorative, I can't say that word, but you know what I mean.
I can't even say it.
Yeah, ameliorative addition, that certainly lends itself towards approval and meeting the intent of the code, which was to make sure these tennis courts are not within 30 feet of a neighboring property. I would note the tennis court is sunken, which would further reduce sound.
So the relief you're looking for now is the ability to place the tennis court in the side yard and the 10 feet where 30 feet is required.
10 feet from the side where 30 is required.
Even
That's
though,
correct.
exactly, okay, and that's it.
That's it. It is a 55 by 105 10, so it's actually smaller than your preferred dimensions, 55 by 110. That was the change since we were last here. Mr. Bregman is here. I'm gonna guess he wants to say something, so that's all I have.
Did you
If
ever
have
figure out
any
where the
questions.
wetlands were?
Yeah, they're located on this. They're not gonna be a concern.
Okay.
So you can see this sort of red area on the, it's sort of a reverse flag to the water.
Mm-hmm.
Just off of that, you see where the wetlands line is. That's the most recent one we can find. There's a 75-foot buffer from that. This is gonna be well outside of the 200.
So it starts over here
Right.
somewhere.
We got a letter to that
Outside of the
effect.
200
Yeah.
jurisdiction. There is an application pending for an NJ letter from, we don't have it yet, but from environmental.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
And the size of the tennis court?
55 by 105.
Okay, thank you.
And did we talk about vegetation?
If you'd like a buffer, we are certainly open to it.
Let's
I would think that you would definitely require, we would require a buffer.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And, okay,
And the other two green items
not
are
us.
not germane to our
I don't know
discussion.
why they're highlighted. Eric and I were actually both kind of baffled by it. It seemed maybe he was highlighting the portion of that's in a conforming location, but it's not, so.
Thank you.
So that's why I said ignore the green.
I understand. Okay.
okay. Okay, any other questions from the board at this point?
Yep.
You may still have some after hearing from Mr. Bregman.
No.
Of course, Eric.
Okay, we've sworn you both in at the last hearing, so we don't need to swear you in again. Just state your name for the record, please.
Eric Bregman, excuse me, 10 Gingerbread Lane, East Hampton. Counsel for Mr. Ron Vinder.
Okay, you want to just say your name?
Ron Vinder.
Okay, Ron, thank you.
And Ron is the neighbor to the north.
Right.
Well, the the change in the tennis court, moving it back from the front yard, as far as Mr. Vinder is concerned, may be of concern to you, but it's a distinction without a difference for him, because it doesn't deal with the side yard and the proximity of the court to him, which is what his concern is here, obviously. You've heard before, you were very kind and gave us time last time about the timing of the applications, and how that leads to, in my mind, the conclusion that the builder has been attempting to and has in fact succeeded in segmenting this application. Our position is simply that this board would likely not have granted this variance if it was made in connection with the variances for the house. The 15-bedroom house, 11,000 square feet. I don't know if there's a basement. Because it would be very easy to adjust the house or adjust the locations of the house in order to make a conforming tennis court. Now, this is a spec house. It's being built by a builder who I understand is going to occupy the other house that's on the water side. And builders are entitled to ask for whatever they can get. A 15-bedroom house and a swimming pool and a tennis court is the best deal any builder can get. That is, leads to the conclusion that this was the plan all along. Mr. Leonard suggested, well, that the builder could have made the decision about the tennis court after he built the house or after he started building the house. The timing doesn't support that. The permit for the house was in January of this year. The application for the tennis court, excuse me, was in April. At that time, essentially very little had been built of the house. The application for the variance was in July of this year, which is when a substantial part of the house had been in construction. So simply, the builder could have made the application for the two variances together, either when he applied for the variances for the house, or after he was told that he needed a variance for this variance. And he didn't do that. And he waited until the house was under substantial construction. For those reasons, it's unfair. Too much on it. It's not unfair in the sense of ethically or anything, but it's unfair under the code. It's too much. The benefits to the applicants are huge, and you can have essentially the same by adjusting the house or moving the house or doing other things so that he can make the setbacks and make a conforming tennis court. And your job, as you know, as well as anybody, is to make the balance between the benefits to the applicant and the burdens to, among other things, the neighbors. There's no reason the house has to be this big. There's no reason it has to be in exactly this location. And by segmenting it and separating out the two applications, the builder is trying to get more than I think you should if you were looking at them together.
Can I say something? I'm not opposing that he puts this tennis court in. I'm just asking that it doesn't go all the way up against my property. And there is room for him to do it behind that house more, and not be so close to my property line. And the last time we were here, the argument was it might be wetlands that prevent them from putting that house back there, but the wetlands are so far away from there. So like, if he could fit it within the guidelines, great. But like having it so close to my property line is disruptive.
Are you suggesting switching the swimming pool and the swimming pool with the tennis court? Is that what you're suggesting?
I think there's room for
I think
all of it.
If you just look at their plans, this tennis court could go here and meet it. Keeping the pool where it is, it can go
I think
further back.
there was a consideration, since it is a sunken court, about the steps required and the space between the house and the beginning of the steps that would create a danger zone.
I'm not, forgive me, I wasn't clear. I'm not suggesting just move it straight back so it runs into the house. I'm suggesting moving further back from the front yard. There's plenty of room with the accessory setback to make it conforming, and then moving it back. So it would be
Closer to the pool.
closer to the pool. But
What's the rear yard setback
talking
right
about
now?
20 feet.
30.
I'm sorry.
What is the required for accessory? Is that what you're asking?
See, but I think that it's a little weird to me why you would be asking that, because that would be putting the tennis court more in line with your actual home.
But
Your
no,
home is really starts at that back corner. So if you moved it back to a conforming location, let's say you put it right to 30 feet, it would be closer to the windows by your home.
No,
Why would you want that?
Because it's further away from the house, and the noise would be further away from
20 feet.
20 feet. Like it's by he's asking for 2/3 reduction. So if he stays within the 30 feet, that's going to be further away from my house.
Well, it'd be, if I may, to John's point, it would be closer, it would be, I guess, further south, north-south, but it would be closer east-west.
It'd be in line with your windows.
But what he's
Right now-
suggesting is you'd shift it over. So in other words, if you move
Yeah,
this
if you move it
back,
up
you
and
would shift it over a little bit.
He would gain some
You
more.
would gain 20 feet
Right.
so that it would be a
It would be
30-foot.
some 50 feet to his lot line,
50
and
feet to
then
his lot
how many
line.
feet from the lot line to the actual edifice? How many is that, do you know?
Well, I'm not sure I understood the question.
How far is your house? That wall, how close is that to your lot line?
Where he wants to put the tennis court?
Yeah, that section of your
Where,
home.
where does your house, on this survey,
I can
where
shed
does
some
your
light.
house lie?
Look at this. Which house is yours, sir?
This is your house. So how far is that wall from that section of the home? It's like kind of U-shaped, right?
So I have
from here to the lot line.
Okay,
My
good.
house isn't really U-shaped. This U part is just garages. This is my house. So if he puts it
You
right
said
here-
on the second floor were bedrooms. You have bedrooms over the garage?
No,
You don't.
no.
You said before, but last time you were here, you said there were bedrooms on that side.
There are bedrooms on this side, but not above the garage.
Not above the ground, okay.
So the garage is this building, this portion?
Yeah,
Okay, so the bedrooms are further back?
yeah.
So on the survey you're passing
That's
around.
interesting that just came out today. I'm gonna be very honest with you.
What do you mean?
I asked you that specific question, and you told me that there were bedrooms on the second floor of that portion of your home.
There are. But we never looked at a picture of this before. I showed you a picture of off my phone.
So
I said the portion of your home that would be closest to this tennis court, what is there? And you told me on the second floor there were bedrooms.
Right, there are.
That's not true.
It is true.
What's
It's
directly, parallel to where the tennis court is the one-story garage, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So 50
So-
feet on this survey.
Presently, the present location of this tennis court is, on the other side is roughly the garage?
It's 10 feet to the line, 20 feet to the,
Right.
and then 50 feet to the southern, roughly 800 square foot garage. I note that because there are two 800 square foot garages
Okay.
on this
All right,
property.
so it would
this-
be, it's like where this circle is. Yes,
Yes.
yeah, so
So to move
So
it, to
it's
move
like
it-
Where that
50
circle-
feet to the
yeah, yeah,
garage,
yeah,
which
yeah,
does
okay.
not have bedrooms above it.
And so it's actually functionally 80 feet from that garage.
From the southern garage.
It's still further away from my house. If he
It's-
confines
but-
within.
But I think
the-
John's point, and I'm sorry, John, but
Are you
I,
sitting and reading in your garage? You're not. Like, I don't understand what would be the burden to your garage?
What
Do
would
you sit in your
what
car
would
in
you
the
think-
garage and listen to
What would you
music?
think my problem is then?
I don't know.
But what
I
can there
honestly don't
possibly
see it.
be?
Why don't you tell us?
Yeah, why don't you tell us?
More efficient.
Yeah, it's that it's just further away from my house.
Okay.
So if it's further away from my house, it's gonna be quieter. It's as simple as that. And like, the reason, in my opinion, I have no evidence of this, but they don't want it behind there because the person building it is gonna be living in that house. So he's trying to push it closer to my house. And all I'm asking, I'm not saying don't give him that tennis court, I'm just saying, don't give another variance, because there's been so many of this property, and he's just trying to get it to my side.
Well, I also would like to address that because I think that the statements with regard to this variance creep have been speculative at best, in my opinion. I think that first of all, you cannot say, as we sit here today, that had this tennis court been part of the application, this board would have denied it. You have no idea whether that would have occurred. It's completely speculative on that ground. And further, there's no evidence as to what is in the mindset of this builder. So unless there's some concrete evidence that this is what's going on, I really do not find that argument credible at all, and I would not credit it in our
That's
decision.
fine. The only argument is that just trying to get it away from my house,
From your garage,
from my house.
from your garage.
Well, no, it's not just from his garage, because if he were to move it back and he moved it and shifted it further down, it would be further away from his house.
Which is already 80 feet from the house as proposed.
50.
No,
50
it's
plus
50 to the
30.
lot line,
Plus
plus
50 plus
30
30.
to the
So it would be 50 plus
30.
30.
Right now, as proposed, it's 80 feet from the wall of the garage, and it's a garage. It's a one-story garage. It does not have it's not a living area.
It's also being outside. On that side is a lot, there's my lawn there, which I spend time. into.
Understood, but
So I
we're
can
not.
be reading on my lawn.
You're gonna read on the lawn next to your garage.
There's a whole, I have a
I
whole,
find this really incredible. I'm gonna be
Okay,
honest with you.
Okay.
you think I'm lying to you?
No, I don't think you're lying to me. I just don't
you're
think
trying to
that-
make an argument, and
I think
we're
it's kinda
trying to
weak.
say that, that if you were to do what you're suggesting, it probably would impact you as much as not doing not doing this. So I think that's at least my point, that I think tennis courts, and we talked about this before, we live in a flat thing, you're by water, there's gonna be noise, and there's just so much that we can do about that. I mean,
Exactly.
we have limitations in terms of what our jurisdiction is. And,
And honestly, when we're looking at an opposition to an application, we have to look at a real-world consequence on the neighbor's property. It can't be, I just don't want a tennis court there. It has to be, what about it is going to actually, factually impact me?
Well,
And I'm not hearing that.
So,
and this would also be a court without lights, clearly.
Yeah. No light,
Right.
well, they're not allowed.
so the thing I'm struggling with, and I just don't have the spatial capacity to do this in my mind only, but if this tennis court was fully compliant in the building envelope, and assuming it could fit, what's the effective, meaningful difference in terms of its impact on the adjacent property, comparing one scenario, that's this, to the one I just described, right? I mean, that's really what this whole argument is over.
I agree.
If I could address that, if you push it back to a conforming location, it'll be
shift it
20
over,
feet
and shift it
further
over.
from the side.
Well, of course.
But it'll be 30 to 40 feet closer to the rear.
Correct.
In addition, now you're eating up the backyard space, so we're probably not going to sink it because that requires more space for stairs. So I think to put it in a conforming location would actually have a greater impact on the neighbor than leaving it where it is.
So you're saying if we put it in a conforming location, we wouldn't be required to sink it?
We wouldn't. And
We
I can say
wouldn't.
we wouldn't sink it because
And that could
we want to
have
eat up
an
less
effect
yard
in
space.
terms of sound. Okay. And I have to agree with Mr. Leonard, we can't speculate on what the mindset was of the builder. I mean, yes, I know, but
This isn't,
I know.
First of all, you have to deal with what's there, and we're dealing
You
with
are dealing
facts,
with what's there.
as far as I can tell, or I'm trying to, with the facts, not speculations. I don't know what this board would have done if the variances came together. I'm suggesting that it's a huge amount of mass, to use your word earlier, on this lot, which is not a huge lot for the amount that's
As I
trying to be
understand it, that
squeezed into
the
it.
allowable lot coverage is 15%, proposed lot coverage, I assume with the tennis court is 9.6.
Yeah, we're not asking for coverage.
We're not asking for
So
coverage
it's-
relief.
So I think, right, it's not before us in terms of mass.
I understand that. What I was saying is addressing your concept of speculation and whether it's that. And I can't speculate and know for sure what you would have decided if they were together. What I'm suggesting it is at least likely that something would have been done to make this more conforming, either making the house smaller, moving it to the places we're talking about. There are lots of things that could have been done. And at least, but by segmenting the two applications, the applicant is attempting to make this impossible to do, right? And I have more of these in my briefcase. This is
Okay.
an aerial.
Okay.
that
I've been
shows
to
you
the
same
site, so
things.
I've seen it.
Okay.
Sorry.
But I
Thank
think
you.
the point that
I think
Mr. Benincasa-
that is, with all due respect, that is speculative and circumstantial. We have no,
Right.
and I've talked to Mr. McCulley, who's represented him throughout, and he said this was not a strategic move.
Okay.
Right, and the, and the.
Can't make a judgment on that,
The
one way
swimming
or
pool and the
the
pool
other.
house are proposed at this point. Have they been built?
There's a building permit.
There's a building permit, but have they been built?
I don't know if they've actually started construction.
Yes.
Oh, I mean,
On the pool house. I know the house is under
I mean,
construction.
there's no,
The pool house has started also.
So, every now and then, when we have these kinds of conversations, I steal a line from John, which is, why don't we just get briefed on your final arguments? Because it seems like the issues now are fairly narrow, right? I mean, it's, right, it's either the proposal is as submitted, and, make your final case for why it should be moved, and knowing full well what the likely consequences
Well,
are.
and just to-
And then let's have that submitted, and then we'll decide what to do.
yeah, no, I think,
But keep in mind that if they have it in a conforming location, doesn't have to be sunken, we don't necessarily require vegetation and buffer zones. So I think you need to think about that. If it's in a conforming location, they can just build it ground level and that's it. So, give that some thought.
And obviously, we would plant buffers as
What if we
required.
just
And
did 20 feet and did the buffers and just call it a day?
What do you mean 20 feet?
Instead, he's required to do 30 feet. He's asking for 10 feet. I'm suggesting he just does 20 feet and put it sunk in and put the buffers and done.
Well,
Well, you'd have to move it over to practically on top
top
of
of
the
the
house
house.
at this
Yeah,
point,
I
from
see
where the
that.
location is.
Yeah.
Near the other house.
and Carl has cited precedent to us that says that we can take into consideration the flag lot in terms of this footage. And from the lot line on the other side of the flag lot is 30 feet. I think there's more than enough square
Do
feet.
do you guys have an interest in briefing this, or do you want to just
Briefing,
conclude it
well,
at the end of tonight?
No,
I
we're
don't
just,
think he needs to.
Okay, that's why I'm asking.
close this
Okay.
and be done.
Okay.
All right, before we,
May I say two things?
all right, two things.
First of all, my name is Bregman, not Bragman. You call me Mr. Bragman.
Just confusing him with somebody else.
I'm so sorry.
Meaningful distinction.
Yeah, Bregman, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Who got insulted?
Nobody's getting insulted.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I apologize.
Sorry. Didn't want to interrupt the flow last time.
Oh, okay. You should have corrected me initially. Sorry.
And the other aspect is, many of the, that I've seen of the applications, or at least some of them, I should say, where they take into effect a flag lot or a 20-foot are like the ones earlier today, where there is a protected area on the other side. You know, there's that, you know, that was, I think the one today was either an agricultural or a scenic easement.
But it was next door to a neighbor. It was a flag lot, it's very similar, that's protected, but the protected area is behind the property. It's not next to the property.
Right.
See, in other words, it's like a driveway. And, because then there's a neighbor on the other side of the driveway.
But the point is that if it was a protected area, as I believe it wasn't a driveway. It wasn't a driveway with activity in it, et cetera.
Oh, I see what
It
you're saying.
was-
I see what you're talking about.
It
Okay,
was a really dead space.
I see.
So it's a different thing to.
Right, all the vegetation that is on that flag lot side, is that on your client's property? Or is that part of your property? It's yours.
I think it's
So
yours.
you have quite a bit of, what are those? Are those, they look like green giants.
I don't know whose side that's
I
on.
don't know, I think, did
Who
you say that
maintains all
was?
the-
My side.
I think that was yours.
I don't maintain.
You were, so the flag.
On the flag
Flag,
or
yeah.
on the?
On the,
On the flag, the
On the
side that's
flag.
on your property, the side that's on your property, whose vegetation is that? I think it's
that's
yours.
the guy behind.
That's yours.
The guy behind us is us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same person.
Okay, so yeah, so,
He wants
and
to
those are all,
maintain buffers on the flag and the lot?
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Okay.
And it looks, is all that vegetation still there? Because I haven't seen the property. Is that,
Yes, that vegetation.
and what are those? Do you know?
I don't know.
They look enormous.
Okay.
We can maintain.
All right.
Good.
Okay.
Great.
Anybody in the audience wishes to be heard on 321 Rose Hill Road? Anybody on Zoom?
No one.
All right, Kevin.
Yep. Okay, I will make a motion to close the hearing with written comments still be
Thank you.
submitted for up until 9/4 with a decision on 9/17.
Second.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye.
Okay, number 10 on the agenda, application of 372 Lumber Lane BH LLC, 372 Lumber Lane, Bridgehampton, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-52-1-26.1.
Anybody here? He's gonna read over here. He's gonna read over the dirt.
He's gonna read in the dirt.
When you got a beautiful backyard, right?
Okay.
And a pool.
Mr. Benincasa again. You wanna
Carl
just introduce-
Benacasa, 860 Montauk Highway, Watermill, New York, for the applicant. Since we were last here, there was a submission made by the landscape architect, who I believe is on Zoom again, if you want to invite him in. Is Justin there?
Peter, is Justin
There is,
on
yeah,
Zoom?
Justin's there.
All right, let me swear you in before. Did I swear you in the last time? All right,
It's still coming on.
okay, sorry.
From the Laurel Group.
Oh, yeah, I did forget. Sorry.
There he is. Hi, Justin.
Hi, Justin.
How are you?
Okay.
So Justin described, sort of went through last time the drainage. You asked to reduce it to a written submission, and he did that. He also, members of the Bridgehampton Civic Association reached out and asked to speak with him. I was not part of that conversation, but that conversation did happen, to sort of illustrate what he's talking about. To sort of dumb it down a bit, essentially, when this court was originally proposed, it was at grade, in a conforming location.
And approved, right? Was it?
Had a permit.
It had a permit, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
Yep.
distinguishing that from just a concept.
Yes,
Okay.
I know, it was actually part of the permit. The grade of the property is such, if you've been there, it does slope up. And there was concern that putting a flat concrete or, macadam concrete, clay surface, whatever the surface is gonna be, would have a detrimental impact on drainage both towards the road and the neighboring properties. So, to ameliorate this, the thought was to sink the tennis court as is currently proposed. When you sink the tennis court, you need steps, and that's what pushes it to the side. I do have a survey that highlights exactly the relief that we are looking for, so you can see in red exactly where this court actually flows into the required setbacks. As you can see, essentially the entire playing surface is within the required, or is compliant with the zoning setbacks. Of course, that's not enough, the whole court has to be, and that's why we're here. But that sort of shows you where the violation is, or the.
Before you even go any further, size of the court,
55 by 110.
not on the plans.
It will be on the final plans.
Thank you.
That's already been requested. We couldn't get it in time, but certainly, if the board is inclined today, that will certainly be a written submission to close the hearing.
All right, so go back to this now. The red is
Is the
indicative.
area that requires relief.
Okay.
So as you can see, the whole southern portion of the court is essentially compliant. It's really just that northeast section.
And you still need the 17.9 and the 19.5.
That's right.
Okay.
Now, I know my client encountered the neighbor, I think it was this Sunday or the previous Sunday, the neighbor's here, but she was on the lot, and my client saw her on the lot and approached her. I'm understanding they had a very cordial conversation, and my client is willing to do not only buffering, obviously plantings, but a sound barrier, a sound fence as well.
What is the sound fence?
Like that, there's that, the fencing that, I'll provide specs. Do you know what I'm talking about, Anthony, perhaps?
It's typically mass-loaded vinyl.
Okay, and it has the effect of diminishing sound.
Absolutely.
Yes, typically 8 to 10 decibels.
Okay.
And what are you doing in terms of drainage?
Justin, if you want to talk about the plans for drainage, the pool would effectively serve as a collection in big rain events. So
The tennis court.
sunken pool would not be, a flat-surfaced pool would sort of.
Tennis court.
Sorry?
Tennis court, you're talking,
I sang
I was
pool.
like, the pool, you're
I
gonna
was
drain
thinking,
it?
like, oh my goodness.
No, tennis court.
Those pools are sunken, yes. The sunken tennis court.
I was like,
Last
what?
one tonight, all right? I can-
What is wrong with your client?
The sunken tennis court would sort of serve as a makeshift catch basin
That's
for
true.
the runoff, whereas a flat surface court, the runoff goes right
Okay.
into it. So,
Right, potentially to the southern neighbor or into the courtyard, which would feed directly into Lumber Lane. So sinking the court allows any severe event to essentially be captured, right? Going from either grass or whatever, could have been there, a hard surface, and in that event, if the drains back up, essentially it's captured within the tennis court at that point.
But there are
It being
drains
sunken.
within the tennis court.
Yeah, there is a channel drain, that'll
Okay.
be the length, 110 linear feet on the low end of the pitched side of the court.
Are they putting dry wells in with that?
Yes.
Okay, and with the
Also-
vegetation, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Just to touch on the area between the tennis court and the southern neighbor, we would be also creating a swale within between the court itself and the retaining wall towards the property, so that with drains connected to the drywall, just to allow access of water to drain properly within that area.
What is a swale?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same.
Oh, sorry, I apologize.
It's
A
a
swale is essentially a dip in the landscape, right? So we would create a trough essentially, so that it wouldn't go up and over into potentially the southern neighbor. It would essentially settle there and with drains, landscape drains, to help navigate the flow of water.
And will the vegetative barrier also help with this?
Absolutely, yeah. Everything that in that area is revegetation, so all native plants, but that'll grow in completely, and that obviously helps reduce potential spill out or drainage issues.
Okay.
And as I understand it, this property has been a problem in terms of water all along. I mean, so it sounds like you're coming up with some means to reduce the impact of the water drainage onto the properties and onto Lumber Lane. You know, you're attempting to, so.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, as we're sort of, you know, this is a complex site with tough issues, right? So, I mean, in the wintertime, you have rain, you have snow, it freezes, and then water continues to accumulate on ice and snow, right? So, what's your confidence level that if you have a sunken tennis court, that you can accommodate what would a reasonable winter of rain and snow look like if you don't have drainage underneath the tennis court?
They do.
And you have high confidence that you can account for all that?
Yeah, well, as much as.
Yeah,
Justin would be the.
Absolutely. That's the 3-inch rainfall, which is required. But it's the same that you would see in any sunken court. So confidence is there.
What size dry wells are you putting in?
I believe 3-inch rainfall should be 32 vertical feet. It may be less than that because the court size is reduced. So it's probably closer to 30 vertical feet total.
Okay.
What's the proposed rear yard coverage? 33%?
Not asking for relief, but.
That's I'm just looking at
30,
that.
proposed is 33%, and permitted is 50.
Okay. Okay.
And this is, I was gonna add, this is in the same location it was last time you came in? Right?
The court is in the same location.
Location is, okay, I just want to confirm that.
Okay. Well, I would like to hear from the neighbor.
30-foot driveway.
Is there anything else
No.
from the board? Would anybody else like to be heard on this matter? Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Want to hear from the neighbor?
That's me.
And I think I swore you in, didn't I, last
You
time?
did, yes,
Okay.
thank
Just
you.
state your name again, please.
My name is Clorinda Pisano. Let me move my glasses. I believe the real question before the board today is this. Is an additional 17.9-foot variance truly necessary to provide a safe, a fair, and an enjoyable tennis court? Or is it simply being requested to accommodate a preferred layout? I moved to Bridgehampton a little over a year ago with only one thing in mind. I wanted peace and serenity. My home was a beach house to the former owner. This is my permanent and only home. I don't have a secondary home. I don't have a vacation home. This is where I spend approximately 300 days a year. The realtors that I interacted with made it clear that a house was going to be built next door, but not to worry. As Bridgehampton has strict laws, and the side adjacent to my home, where there are 3 bedrooms, has a 30-foot setback law. That's why I moved forward with the purchase. I don't want to move. And honestly, putting a court 17-plus feet closer to my home, I believe, will negatively impact the value of my house. That's not fair. That's not reasonable. Setbacks exist for a reason and shouldn't be ignored for a developer's preference. Also, the proposed tennis court should not be evaluated solely as a traditional tennis court. Pickleball has become extraordinarily popular, and tennis courts are very easily adapted for pickleball by adding a few lines to the surface. That is very important. A tennis ball is felt, covered, and even makes a loud popping noise. In contrast, pickleball uses a hard plastic ball with a solid-faced racket with a distinctive pop that occurs every time the ball strikes. Pickle courts are smaller than tennis courts, so the number of high decibel pops is significantly greater than on a tennis court. In 2024, a study of recreational pickleball found the sound levels to be approximately 69 to 92 decibels on the court. Rustling leaves are at 10 decibels. A loud rock concert and a close proximity concert siren are at 120 decibels. Now there's going to be 92 decibels right next door to me. The family that buys the property could also make the court a sports court and install a basketball court as well. Again, I have 3 bedrooms on that side of the house. Please consider the impact of a Sunday morning basketball game and you being woken up by a sharp and loud thud noise on your day off in your bed if you're not feeling well.
Okay, can we?
After, there's additional issues of drainage issues. And I would like to tell you that since my time is limited, I'll stop, but I want you to know that since I left here, I contacted 5 attorneys. 2 were either friends with or had business relationships with the developer. 2 were on vacation and 1 could not accommodate me. So I was fortunate enough to find some attorneys that I hired literally 24 hours ago, and I ask that you please allow them to get up to speed and let them present options and solutions based on their review of the situation. They have no information, they don't have a proposal for the installation of a sound barrier, they have no proposal for the drainage. And lastly, I have prepared anecdotal summary and photographs, and I didn't know protocol, so I have only 1 set of photographs with me. But just so you are aware, and let's get it on the record, a full-size regulation playing surface is 36 by 78. 36 divided by 2 is 18 feet on each side of this tennis court. I went to East Hampton Indoor Tennis, and I want you to know, I have the pictures as evidence, that this is a facility where people pay $260 an hour for private lessons. And the distance between their doubles outline and the first obstruction on one side is 6 feet. On the other side, it's 5 feet. If you take 18 and 6 or 18 and 5, there is no need for a variance at all. In addition, I have photographs, which I don't know, again, protocol, I don't know if I can photocopy them and send them to you or email them to you.
You'll be able
That'd be
to
great.
submit them.
I have photographs of my home that I formerly came from. My bedroom window was 90 feet from the tennis court, and I could hear everything. And my tennis court, former tennis court, was 25 feet below grade level with a granite wall, and you can hear everything.
Okay, thank you very much.
So anyway, if I could please ask again, if you would
Fair
please
question.
grant my attorney time to
We'll
review the stuff.
take that under advisement, but right now, we want to get any other comments?
Do you have any questions?
No.
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 Okay.
Anybody else? Okay, go ahead. Mr. Benacasa, I assume that this court will not be converted to a pickleball court, and
We can make that a condition.
Make it a condition,
Make
it's
it a
also illegal under the
It's
code.
illegal.
that's right.
Well, can I ask Carl one thing? So, looking at this survey and the red marked space, the court itself is is conforming.
Yes, the playing surface is
The
conformed.
playing surface is conforming. It's the border.
It's the border, which is required for safety reasons with tennis, obviously, but yes.
Correct.
And honestly, shrinking a court to the extent that the Gordon was suggesting, doesn't seem to solve the sound problem.
No.
Or the drainage problem.
Sorry?
You know, to make it this small court with, like they have in the tennis.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the tennis places, yeah.
Right, and I think it's significant that I just heard that you're putting in 30-foot dry wells. Those are enormous. That's big. That's, a residential dry well is usually like 10 feet.
Yeah.
It's 3 times what's
Drainage is
required.
a real issue on this lot. This is
Can I speak and then,
Okay, go ahead.
Fine.
thank you.
Go right ahead,
It's a
ma'am.
public
But
hearing.
we're gonna try to keep it tight.
Yeah,
okay?
and I.
3 minutes,
I
please.
have it at 3 minutes. My name is Pamela Horwood, and I reside at 371 Woodland Drain, got drainage on my mind, Woodland Drive, and I think I've already been sworn in. The Southampton ZBA focuses on the impact of variance requests to contiguous neighbors, but the New York State ZBA guidelines consider a nearby resident, such as myself, I live down the block, to also be impacted. So I am speaking as a nearby resident tonight, as well as the president of the Bridgehampton Civic Association. The ZBA is not obligated to grant relief. I agree with another civic leader who urged the town to resist the outsized pressures of well-resourced private interests that seek to turn the rule of law into let's make a deal. Since the first hearing, we met with the neighbor to the south, Clorinda, and from her property witnessed how close this tennis court would be to her home. We have met with the chief building inspector, and there are a number of issues about the rest of the property that are of concern to him, but not of concern to us tonight. I spoke with Justin Kwasnick of the Laurel Group, and thank you very much, Mr. Benincasa, for facilitating that, who shared that his firm had not yet begun excavation or other work on the tennis court, so there's still time to do something. In asking for an area variance, state law requires the applicant to show that the benefit to themselves will outweigh any burden to the health, safety, and welfare that may be suffered by the community, and must take 5 factors into consideration. We suggest that this and future neighbors will be burdened with noise, despite the court being sunken and/or with another sound barrier. The 12,000 square foot house and accessory structures are close to the main road and so out of scale with this compound, it changes the character of the neighborhood. And Mr. Leonard, I really related to what you said earlier about the creep that goes on. You could start with a neighborhood of 15,000 square foot, like mine, go to 4,000, then you go to 7,500. Before you know it, this is 12,000. Completely a game changer. This is relevant because building a smaller house would have enabled the applicant to build a tennis court without a variance. The applicant has room to position the tennis court in the conforming location. They have not proven that drainage would be better in the non-conforming location. Mr. Kwasnick referred to the need for a staircase to the sunken tennis court. We don't know the reason why this can't be achieved in the conforming location. It's possible it's because they built a deck facing the tennis court, and that could be ameliorated somehow. You don't need 2 decks. This is like 2 decks. He also says that the fences required around the tennis court would be better from the site view from Lumber Lane if moved closer to the neighbor. Perhaps they could reposition the tennis court to the back of the house so that only the applicants would see the fencing. I think we can agree that being 40% and 35% closer to the neighbors is a substantial area variance. And approval of this variance would set a precedent of allowing tennis courts in our neighborhood, where hardly any currently exist, to be too close to neighboring properties.
Okay,
In
Pamela,
closing,
can you-
I'm
okay.
just going to
Oh,
close.
good.
As a nearby neighbor, I witnessed that the 2 homes that were on this property did not cause flooding on Lumber Lane, because I heard earlier that this has always been an issue. It is not. And I never heard of any drainage issues. I've lived there for a very long time, right down the road. It is likely that the clear cutting, excavating, and regrading, as well as the overdevelopment of the property, have created the issues for which the applicant is seeking these 3 variances. Thanks very much for your
Pamela,
attention.
thank you.
Carl, can I ask you, did the proposed structure require any variances from us? No. Okay.
And we had a conforming location with tennis that we submitted for and obtained.
Right.
It was after doing the site evaluation, we realized this was a better solution. I would note that conforming location to tennis would only be, it was stated we're asking for 17.9 feet of relief. We're actually asking for just over 12 feet of relief. it's going to be 17.9 feet from the side yard.
Right, and that
So if we
tennis
move
court would
that
barely
closer-
fit in the back.
Yeah, but we were okay with that.
Yeah.
But it was at grade. So.
Right.
You wouldn't have sinking, you wouldn't have buffering, and you wouldn't have the sound limiting fences. In addition, I would note that the adjacent lot, the most impacted structure would be the, and I can share this survey, would be the pool house, which itself is only 11 feet off the property line. And further, I know we all want conformity as best we can. The adjacent lot.
Is this Ms. Pisano's?
Yes. Has two variances that were granted. One for a side yard setback from, excuse me. Here they are. One from a side yard setback from 30 to 22.5 feet for a proposed reconstruction of the pool. And one for a rear yard setback of 49.2 to 38.5 for a screen porch addition. So everyone wants conformity. You're a wonderful board to appear before, but most developers would like to avoid you. But sometimes variances are required, as were required on the adjoining lot.
So I'm confused. Where is? Oh, I see where we are. Okay.
So this is,
Which
this is where the tennis court is.
The
Here.
tennis court is right here, where the frame shed is.
It's a pool house now.
Pool house
It's
and
only
the
11
shed.
feet.
I'm sorry. Wait a second. Show all of us. Where is it?
It's gonna be right.
So again, similar to the previous application, I think you will result in a tennis court that will have less audio impact on the neighbor than would have in a conforming
So
at-grade
you have a permit to put your tennis court in a conforming location.
Yes.
And where would that be?
It would be if you just move the court, and I can present the survey from the permit so you can see
Okay.
it. If you just move the court outside of that corner and sort of into this area right here.
Okay.
That's where it is.
Okay.
And it's at grade.
It's at grade,
It created.
no buffer required.
No buffer required, no fencing required.
soundproofing, yeah, okay.
Now, and again, it presented those drainage issues, which was the main impetus behind this. Honestly, this was the main impetus. It was understanding that this would create potentially flooding on the lot, and certainly flooding on the
Create
street.
erosion, I mean, all kinds of problems.
So the thought was, with our landscape architects, that why don't we sink this? But if to sink it, you need access through steps, and that's why we're here.
Right, and one thing I just want to say, I appreciate your comments about, my comments about creep, but when I was talking about that, that's more in terms of mass of the homes themselves, the largeness of the actual structures. Tennis courts are just, they are ingrained in our community. They're everywhere. You can't speak from the audience. If the chair will allow.
Yes, but let's
be
we
quick,
need to
though.
wrap this up.
I take your point, Mr. Leonard. But what this is about is the fact that we believe that if the applicant hadn't built, and it's already up, a 12,000 square foot house, nothing like that exists in this neighborhood. If they hadn't built a 12,000 square foot house, they would have plenty of room to put this in a conforming position. And we have still not seen demonstrated that moving it would change drainage, only make more room for the stairs, for the sunken thing, because there's a deck. So it's all about the fact, you have to look at it in a macro way in order to judge the tennis court. The 12,000 square foot house is what necessitates.
Okay, but we're not going to that, because that's already been approved, it's permitted, and the property is able to
Yes.
hold a 12,000 square foot
I
house.
think that the tennis court can be in a conforming place.
But think about this, one thing, because Mr. Benincasa has, provided this information to us, that if the tennis court were in the conforming place, closer to the house, and correct me if I'm wrong, sinking it requires additional space.
Yes, it was
Absolutely.
permitted tennis court.
So
Exactly.
putting it closer to the house in a conforming location would require it to be at grade. And that is what
Why?
creates, because in order to sink it, you need even more space. So then it would wind up being not in a conforming
There
space.
seems to be space.
Because
Or
you
at
need
least it could
stairs
be
and
less
you need-
close to the neighbor, but I got the point about the stairs.
It's only conforming if it's at grade. So by putting it at grade, you create all of these drainage issues, and that's what they wanted to
And
avoid.
you're going to have more sound
You're
issues.
gonna have more sound issues because at
But
grade,
it would
there's.
be a conforming location. And if you're saying, do it at a conforming
In a
location,
conforming location, it would be closer to the
But it-
applicants
It's going to be
because it's
louder.
their responsibility. If they want
louder.
a tennis court, they should have the noise, not the neighbor.
well,
Right,
the
but-
neighbor is going to have more noise.
So-
Do you understand that you have the ability, because they want to put it where they want to put it, which, keep in mind, the actual court itself is 30 feet from the property line. You now have the ability to require drainage, proper drainage, vegetation, sound barriers, them sinking it. All of those things would be off the table if you had it in the conforming
Right,
location. So I think
except-
you have to think of in terms of
Yes, and I
cost
believe that
benefits.
all of those drainage remediations are self-created because of all the work that's been done on the property, draining issues that didn't exist before.
But none of it required variances.
So it's, I mean,
This does.
I think-
So, anyway, I know there are others people who wish to speak, so I'll sit down.
I want to try to narrow this all down. There's a tennis court going there,
One way or another.
and the question is where?
Yes.
And the question is, what's the mitigation to abate noise and other things that may be at play? There's nothing that stops that from happening if you walked out right now. And the issue before us is the total distance of impact on the physical property as compared to a 30-foot setback is 17.9. So we're,
That's the rear.
At the worst point.
right, that's, okay, so, and at the, comparing court size to court size, what's the difference in setbacks? If you can, in other words, the play area, where the ball goes over the net and people hit it. What's the distance, what's the difference in location?
10 feet in the rear would be 10 feet.
Right, 10 feet this side, and that's it?
Well, I guess 10 feet the whole way, because the
Okay.
court's being shifted 10 feet.
All right. So, and what I'm trying to do is, we're talking about 2 tennis courts, and we're talking about 10 feet. Is that it?
11 feet. It's
All right.
11, yeah.
But I mean, give or take, right? So that's the discussion.
One's sunken, one's not.
Correct. And,
Has buffering and sound fencing, one doesn't.
okay.
Right, and it seems kind of clear that permitting the variance will provide benefit to the neighbors in terms of sound.
Well, and let me
Water,
just, yes, I
drainage,
agree.
all of
And I
that.
think if we were to deny the variance request, the point is that the tennis court can get built in a conforming location, we have no say.
And it will be onerous.
And, right,
it
all right,
will
so
be
let's hear
onerous.
from the rest of, whoever else is on, is there anybody else on Zoom?
2 people.
Okay. All right, let's try to keep these comments to 3 minutes, and let's not try to be too repetitive, because we understand what the issues are. Oh, okay, hi.
Hello.
Have I sworn you in before?
No, my name is Maggie McDonald. I'm an attorney for the neighbor Clorinda Pisano.
Okay. Go
And I
ahead.
can't- Oh, there we go. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Can.
Okay, hi, good evening. So as Ms. Pisano mentioned, I was retained approximately 24 hours ago on this matter. I did have the opportunity to watch the prior meeting, so I understand the issues. I actually was able to speak with Mr. Benincasa. I understood from the last meeting that he's very open and available to interact, and I found that to be the case, and that's been helpful. However, it's just not been enough time, honestly, to understand the request and the potential impact. And I think what I'm hearing tonight is that there are a lot of options that might potentially provide mitigation, but these are all, at this point, speculative in that I don't know what the difference is, as I think it was Mr. McDonald who shares a last name with me, but we have no relation that I'm aware of, mentioned, this is a difference between an at-grade court that is at its nearest point to my client's house, 30 feet, making the playing surface more than 30 feet away from my client's house. So there is a difference there between having a playing surface exactly at the 30-foot boundary. The difference between sinking and not sinking. I mean, Ms. Pisano mentioned anecdotally from her home that had much more significant sinking, that did not provide the type of mitigation that everyone here seems to assume would be provided by sinking. So, all that I'm asking for because of the timing of this is the opportunity to review the plans and quantitatively advise my client as to the best compromise that we can come to. And I, given that I've had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Benincasa, I know his client doesn't want to extend the public comment. It would be my request that we extend it so that we can actually understand and come to you with a quantitative proposal for what conditions would actually mitigate this impact, as opposed to the speculation that buffers and barriers and leaving this where it's, where the developer prefers it is going to work without actual backup for that. So that would be my request.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, let's hear from the next person.
When was this originally on? No. Was that the original? That was the first?
8-6 was the first one?
8-6 was the first?
Sorry?
8-6 was the first hearing on this?
Last week, last time.
So, I'm sorry, I've appeared before in person, but I haven't done Zoom. I don't want to lose the
I can't
meet-
help you on that. Just
mute yourself.
Just
Yeah.
mute yourself.
She's an attendee, that's all.
Okay.
Okay, you ready for me?
Yeah, go ahead. All right, we're limiting you to 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm timing myself, so we'll be okay.
Actually,
Okay,
a minute
good.
and a half.
First, I want to clarify that last time I was not speaking generalities. I was speaking specifically to this variance request. The roughly 10% of the tennis court that requires relief requires it because of the design choices and the overall development of the lot, which goes directly to 2 variance factors. Is the difficulty self-created, and are there feasible conforming alternatives? The applicant keeps saying that it's only conforming if it's at grade, and then there are more sound and drainage issues, as if that's the only option and it's a binary decision. And sinking it needs more space because of the stairs. You're starting from faulty assumptions. The court does not have to be a grade to be in a conforming location. Why must the staircase to the court be by the house? There's plenty of room at the other end of the court. It could be at the short end of the court. And if they want the steps to be by the house, they could consider reducing the side patio. Per the building plans that are filed, the patio sits on unexcavated ground. Has that alternative been fully explored? What about the rear yard? The town recently increased rear yard lot coverage to 50%, specifically to encourage accessory structures there rather than in side yards. Could the pool and tennis court be swapped? That would require only a rear yard variance affecting an ag reserve rather than a neighbor. The variance will change the character of the neighborhood. Contrary to Mr. Leonard's claims, and he should do some research before speaking, tennis courts are not in range.
No.
Tennis courts are not in range in
Ma'am,
our community,
excuse me,
and they are
ma'am.
not common in
Ma'am,
this neighborhood.
ma'am.
From a quick look at the GIS, I'm going to give you
You are
some
not.
facts. Several hundred
not
lots
to
in the
talk
broader
to me
area.
that way.
Only
Do you
4
understand me?
tennis courts.
All right,
and
listen.
only 4 are in the
Meredith,
side yards.
Meredith,
No.
wrap it up.
Thank you. No, you're
Wrap
done.
it up. Wrap it up. Okay.
John, you gave
should
wrong
know
facts.
to be-
There are only
Wrap it
4
up,
tennis courts
both
in
of
the
you.
area.
Enough.
2 on Lumber Lane.
Right.
You cannot say that it's not, that tennis courts are common
All right.
and then not let me speak. If you
You
cut me off and
should
I want
learn
the
how
facts in
to
the
be
record,
respectful to the board in front of which you appear.
and treat me with disrespect and say that their tennis courts are not, I live here, you don't live in this area. Tennis
Okay.
courts are not common in this area.
Meredith,
Okay,
thank
we've had
you.
enough of you, thank you.
Meredith, thank you for your comments.
No, I didn't get to finish, Susan, and I would like to finish and
No,
give the
I don't
facts
think
about
she
the tennis
should.
courts in the area.
I'm sorry.
All right, John. All right,
Outrageous.
got like 10 seconds to finish.
Right,
Completely
they're on-
unprofessional.
All right, John,
Tennis, you're,
go ahead, Meredith.
there are, tennis courts are not common in this area. I looked at the GIS. Out of hundreds of lots in this area, about 40 have tennis courts. Of those, 4 are inside yards.
Almost.
Okay.
Two are on Mitchell's, not in the immediate neighborhood, and they abut and only affect each other. The third is on Scuttle Hole, 200 to 300 yards from the neighboring home.
Okay,
The fourth is a
Meredith,
few
we get
hundred
the- we
feet
get
from
your
any
point.
nearby residence. This would be only the third tennis court in the immediate neighborhood, number 3. And while it would be the second one in a side yard, it would be the only one close to a residence. This would break with the uniformity, spacing, and feel of this neighborhood, changing its character, because we all know it will trigger a wave of similar requests on smaller lots, and it will create creep, one variance at a time.
Okay, thank you,
Before
Meredith.
closing this hearing,
Okay.
I believe the board should explore this information,
Okay.
and they should get referrals from the town's engineering and planning
Well, and
departments.
you know,
and the
Meredith, you
community-
have the option to provide us with written comments with some of that information that you just provided us orally. So, okay.
Unbelievable.
All right, at this
No,
point.
unbelievable, you,
All right,
John.
oh, Meredith, that's it. That's it. Okay,
Are there any
So-
others?
is there anybody else?
No one.
Oh, okay. All right, so the way I see it is that the attorney
What?
would like a little bit of opportunity. Oh, you have some comments? What?
She's suggesting we need some, where you were going, I think.
Where I was going.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I suggest we close it with written comment? I think that's plenty of opportunity.
I would suggest that, I think what John pointed out is that this came before us August 6th. This is August 20th. I think that we could adjourn it for another meeting. I would like to limit the discussion to only, but I just think that it's true. I mean, it's only been 2
I don't
weeks.
agree. I don't agree. I don't see the reason of holding this open. I think it could be done on written submission. I think the time to hire an attorney was a few weeks ago. And yes, it is. It's been 2 weeks. And so,
There was notice prior to the.
and there was notice prior to this.
No, you make a point.
And,
That's true.
and we have to move forward efficiently, effectively, and
know what
I
the
think
issue
we've
is.
heard, we know
We
what,
do know what the
we
issue
know what
is.
the issues are.
Okay, I agree. All right, at that
So,
point,
and
you've
if,
convinced
maybe
me.
we should take an up and down vote on it.
If I could,
Take an up and down vote.
Yeah,
on
let's
it,
take
yeah.
an up and down vote on it.
Go ahead, Carl, go ahead.
I will, and Ms. McDonald and I have spoken. She's
Okay.
a very professional, seems like a lovely person. I'm happy to work with her during the written comment period to get her any information she requires. So that
Absolutely.
she can offer a full written comment.
And you know that we always have the ability to rehear an application
can
if, on
reopen
the
it.
basis of written comments, we unanimously agreed it needs to be reopened. So we have that option at some point.
And I think also, Carl, what I would like to see is information put into the record on the sound fencing. I would like information on the drainage
Right.
plan. I'd like information on the
buffering, the
vegetation plan.
And can we also get crystal clear clarity on the actual nature of the court itself and what we're not allowing with any potential approval? In other words, the reference to, sports courts and
Oh, right.
It'll
Yeah,
be
that-
strictly limited to tennis.
All right.
I
and-
believe you,
By the
and I mean, I
Yes.
understand what you're saying, but I think that needs to be clear for the record.
Absolutely.
Right? And
Yeah.
then there can be no
the
ambiguity
applicant's willing to do that.
that wasn't there.
Yes.
Right. And the other thing that you said you were going to provide us with was the original survey for the permitted court.
Yeah, I think
So
that, I
I
think
would
that
like to
contrast
take a
is
look at
important.
that as well.
That's a good idea.
And then, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Susan,
I have one request, if we could, that shit just slipped my mind. Oh, my God.
Did somebody call my
Sorry.
name?
Yes.
Heard you.
Yeah, hi, sorry.
I don't know where it's coming from, though.
Who is
Maggie McDonald wanted to say something else.
Who?
McDonald.
Maggie
Attorney.
McDonald.
She's had her
Yeah,
chance. I'm
no.
sorry. We're going to have to really move on.
It's already 10:45.
So, I'm sorry, I remember now. So I'm about to make the motion for how we're gonna move. And if we get substantial, meaningful, material comments, other than I don't like a tennis court, which I understand, but if we get meaty material back, we're gonna weigh that, fairly and seriously. And if we have to reopen it for further hearing, we will.
Yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
but with the understanding that reopening is on a unanimous vote.
Understood?
Right.
One person
Well,
says
that's
no,
true,
and it's
that's true.
over.
There's no guarantee being made, but.
no guarantee
But the
that
assumption
it's
would be that a
reopened.
material presentation would do that. Okay.
Can you just tell me again what you were looking for? I missed like.
Oh, I'd like information on the sound fencing. Susan said she wants the original survey that shows, you got that? I want information on the drainage plan and the the vegetation buffer plan.
And the wall and the soundproofing.
And tennis only.
Yeah, I said the sound fence.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed the drainage part. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who's doing this? John's not here.
All right, I'm going to
How
do it.
deep is the tennis court going to be sunk?
4 usually, right?
4 feet?
All right. Okay, so we are
John
going
R.
to hold this open I'm sorry, we're going to close the hearing. We're going to hold it open for meaningful written comments, and we're looking forward to that on September 4th, and a decision on September 17th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Mastrino? Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Voting no.
Labor Day weekend reading.
And chair votes aye. Okay.
You said September 4th? Did you mean the 3rd or with the
No,
4th?
September 17th, decision,
And then
written comments, September
9/4 written
4th.
comment.
Prior 9/4 written
Yeah,
comment.
9/4.
Thank you, sorry. Misread.
Okay. Okay. All right, we're up to decisions.
Gullbutt Farms.
That's mine, yeah.
That's you.
Okay.
All right,
I have
Bob.
decision number 1. This is for minor variance for 2 Scuttlebutt Farms, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-50-1-9-.10. This application for a minor variance for property located at 2 Scuttlebutt Farms, Bridgehampton. Applicant seeks a minor variance for proposed basement addition to an existing dwelling. The application passes the standard as set forth in New York State Town Law and Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from Town Code Section 330-6 that references Town Code 330-11 for a principal front yard setback of 61.75 feet, where 80 feet is required for proposed below-grade addition to an existing dwelling as shown on the survey prepared by William R. Simmons, last revised March 3rd, 2026, and plans prepared by Charles W. Kuhn, dated February 2026. Granted, the foregoing relief is subject to such conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Mastrino?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, I have the decision in the application of Stephen H. F. Sang Guang Hong and Catherine C., Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-218-1-77.7. This application is for property located at 13 The Registry, East Quogue. Applicants seek variances to legalize an outdoor shower and an outdoor pizza oven on a lot burdened by 2 front yards. After reviewing the testimony and evidence presented, this board finds that since both the outdoor shower and the outdoor pizza oven were built on the property almost 30 years ago and are not visible from the street or by neighbors, this application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from Town Code Section 330-6 General Regulations that references Town Code Section 330-11 Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for an accessory distance from front line setback of 32.7 feet where 50 feet is required, as shown on the survey prepared by Joseph Secafico, L.S., last dated August 25, 2025, to legalize an outdoor shower, as well as relief from Section 330-76D and 330-83C. This board also grants relief from the aforementioned Town Code sections for an accessory distance front lot line setback of 32.9 feet where 50 feet is required, as shown on the survey prepared by Joseph Secafico, L.S., last dated August 25, 2025, to legalize an outdoor pizza oven. The grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye. Okay, I have the final decision. In 15 Partridge LLC, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-24-2-64. This application is for property located at 15 Partridge Drive, Noyak. Applicant seeks variances for a proposed one-story addition with a covered porch and a proposed roof renovation to the existing dwelling. After reviewing the testimony and evidence presented, this board finds that the application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the Town Code Section 330-1115D, continuance for a principal front yard setback from 50 feet to 47.5 feet, as per the latest survey, and a principal rear yard setback from 60 feet to 59.5 feet for the proposed one-story addition with a covered porch. This board also grants relief from Section 330-84D, pyramid height for a north sky plane encroachment of 5.4 cubic feet on a non-conforming lot for a proposed roof renovation. The grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye. Okay.
To close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.